What's up, everybody? I see everybody's just rolling in the chat room, getting ready to get everything started, jumping off in there. It's a hot Wednesday. I had to switch everything kind of at the last minute. That happens sometimes. Life gets in the way of one's best plans. But I am here today, and we're going to do this advice column for those of you who just rolling through because you were just curious. You said, "Oh, look, there's a live stream and it's about relationships. Let me see what this is all about. Let me check this out." This show is crazy. I'm going to just warn you now. If you come in here looking for some kumbaya kind of stuff and thinking it's going to be like Miss Marple and Dear Abby and all that kind of stuff, oh, you can forget that. We don't roll like that around here. We get gully. And so when I give advice, it's going to be some of the realest shit you ever heard in your life. I don't mince words. My team backs me up because they know when you start talking the way I do, Google is like, oh, no, you shan't do that and think you're going to be getting some advertisement dollars. That's not going to happen, girlfriend. So they chip in, and kind of help, they absorb some of the cost of doing all these productions and with the super chat donations, and I have some Patreon subscribers as well. So feel free to put in your $2 or $3 as well. Yes, honey, because Google be got her to having assistants like spank, 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 spank. You're knowing you shouldn't be doing that. That's inappropriate language, Deborah. That's what I get. But what can I do? I can't. I just have to be me. I just have to be myself. And thereby by doing that, I can reach people who are surrounded by basically butt kissers who just tell them what they want to hear and don't be telling them how to really get their act together and move on to another level in life, do better by themselves, respect themselves more, make smarter choices, build better boundaries. I'm here to help you do all that. Okay. Now, like I said, be prepared for some of the language. It's not necessarily the best, but it's what you're going to hear. So today we have a total of 24 questions. 24 questions. And it's hot as heck. And here, you might be able to hear my fan is blowing over there because it's rather warm. So, hey, everybody, let's get started. You ready? You ready? Oh, before I do, let me just remind you. We're going to have a new series. Okay. So if you or anyone that you know that you're close enough to approach with this has either been married to or dated someone that was in prison for a long time, more than 5 years. Okay, that's the criteria I decided to use. More than 5 years, I would like to hear from that person. I'm actually even considering hearing from some of the guys that finally got out. I'll just make that decision, a little bit later. But what I need to get is a commitment from at least 10 women that they're going to talk about their stories. I have one. And unless I get about 10, then I'm just going to consider this to be a flop and we're not going to do it. Because you can't have a series with 2 or 3. There has to be enough to call it a series. You can find out the information, participation in this. There's information on the community wall for this channel. Or you can write to me. It's debsterism@gmail.com. I need a brief synopsis of your story and contact information. And then, I'm going to start scheduling shows in a week or two. All right? We're going to start scheduling interviews, rather. All right? So that's what we're going to be. What we're going to talk about is the women who date and marry men who are in prison for a long time. What's that? What's going on there, girlfriend? And I want to do some investigation. It will be of course, with the utmost respect. That's how I do my interviews. I don't clown people, so don't worry about anything like that. If you want to see how I interview, you can check out the narcissistic series. All those ladies, um, you know, complete strangers, but I think at the end they felt comfortable enough to talk about some stuff that was very hurtful to them. And I think that, we showed them the proper amount of sensitivity and respect on the channel. So they felt comfortable joining in. Okay. So let's go. Let's move on to question number 1. This is female in the 21 to 26 age group, and she's out of Glendale, Arizona. I'm 26, but I just got married to a 50-year-old man on February 8th. February, March, April, May, June. Whoa. But we've been together for 3 years. I thought he was married before that. I thought because he was married before that he would be mature enough to marry me and not name call me like he said he did to his ex. He would nitpick what she wore, what she ate. My husband compares me to her and says I'm just like her with some of her mental health problems he says she has, but I doubt she does because he says I have them too, which is not true. Yesterday, my cat almost died. I'm spending all my savings to keep him alive. He had 2 urinary catheterization procedures, and I'm trying to keep him alive. My other cat's throwing up because she won't eat wet food that the vet said I should put them both on. My husband calls my sick cat fat. I'm telling you all this because I'm going through a lot right now, and I've been crying every day, and a heartburn, I can't sleep, and I've been trying to lose some weight by going on the treadmill. Today I go and eat a Pop Tart, which is the most I've eaten in 3 days because I'm so depressed. And he goes on the treadmill and starts calling me fat and tells me to stop eating the Pop Tart. He said yesterday he will divorce me if I get to 150 pounds. I'm 142 and I'm 5'3". I say, you're hurting my feelings. Stop calling me fat. And he says almost right after that, he called me fat. Stop making shit up. And he starts laughing. And then he gets mad at me for being mad at him and ignoring him. How to get him to stop calling me fat? Ha, 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 ha. This is easy. Okay, you're 26 and he's 50. And he gonna have the nerve to be capping on you about your weight. Girlfriend, all you have to do is look at him and give him that up and down and say, you look like a Oompa Loompa, you old fuck. And then you say, you know what? I can always lose weight. But you know what you can't never lose? Your oldness. Because your ass is always going to be 20, whatever, 4 years older than me. What do I have on you? Youth. What will you never get back? Youth. You going to be old and ugly and wrinkled and dried up. Your nuts is going to be sagging and you're going to be fat and your muscles are going to swing in the wind and all kind of stuff is going to happen to you because you know why? You're old. I would rub his nose in it. Every time I looked at him, I'd be like, why did I marry your old fucking ass? Your sperm's probably going crutches and shit. Oh, I would wear him out. I would wear him out. He would feel so embarrassed about his age. Every time he made a crack about my age, my weight, I would make one about his age. That's what I would do. Watch some black comedy shows so you can get some good one-liners to lob at his ass about age and his manhood sinking into, a pit. Yeah, all kind of stuff. Michelle say your ED is showing. I mean, just wear him out. You know what I mean? Just wear him out with anything there is about old men. Just wear him out with it. He will soon stop talking about you being fat. The only reason he does it is because he knows it bothers you. Once you show him that it doesn't bother you and you start firing back, he'll stop. Because he'll see that this is an argument that he can never, ever win because, motherfucker, your ass ain't Benjamin Buttons and you ain't aging backwards. Okay? Let's get real here. Oh, fart. The Clown Academy, whatever you want to call it. I would be, that would just be a license for me to act all my fool. All of it. All of it would come out. Because, you be trying to like hold back, when there's somebody you in a relationship with, you love them. You be trying to just not like hit them with both barrels. Mm-mm. He would get a whole arsenal. All of it. He would get it all. Yeah, he's not. This isn't about making her mad. Michelle Louise, this is not about making her angry. This is about hurting her. This is about making her feel small and insignificant, like she's nothing, which is how he really feels about himself, which is why he has to get a wife and use her for a punching bag instead of loving her. Now her mistake is thinking you thinking that because he did it to his ex, he wouldn't do it to you. I never say that if you married to a woman and you treat her bad, then I have no reason to think if you marry me that you're going to treat me any better because that's your pattern. That's how you do things. But you don't have to be like the ex. I'm telling you, you need to be like Deb and light his ass up. Yeah. It's not about making her mad. It's about making her cry, making her feel hurt, making her feel like there's something wrong with her, that she's deficient, that she's, doesn't measure up. He's trying to cream sauce her whatever self-esteem that she has. It's not about making her upset, not angry anyway. It's not about that. He wants to make her feel like shit. That's what his goal is. Question number 2. Let's move on. Oh, low life, raggedy ass snake. Female, 46 to 55, out of Durham, North Carolina. Hey, Deb, I'm a new fan of your channel and I'm writing you for the first time. I am white, but I like your straight. What difference? Okay, but I like your straight shooting style, so I'm writing to you. I hope that's okay. Yes, it's okay. Anyway, here's my issue. I love my daughter, and overall, we have a good, close relationship, but she can be overly controlling in my life. It's as if I need her permission to make my own decisions. In this health environment, things have only gotten worse. She doesn't want to see me with anyone or go anywhere. She's very cautious. I told her I've decided to have my cleaning person come in with the understanding that this person wear a mask and gloves and will be out of the house. I will be out of the house and in my office for the few hours that she's here. I also had to have a refrigerator replaced, so there were some repairmen here. I was wearing mask and gloves, and I stayed near the door. There were other things that life presents that we just need to do. She seemed to understand that, but she's not happy about it. The real problem centers on my social life. I've been in a relationship for almost a year, and she is vehemently against me seeing this person. I think she's using it as an excuse, and she really has never been easy to deal with in terms of my dating life. Now they have an issue because her and her fiance, who live out of state, want to visit for a few weeks. Do I tell my significant other not to come here for a few weeks? She also told me that I shouldn't see anybody now since Corona has a 14-day incubation period, and she and her fiance have been avoiding contact with any other people, and she doesn't want me to give her what could possibly result in the virus because she says her immune system is depressed. Well, the facts are that she sees her doctor twice a week, and I saw her visiting her girlfriend yesterday. And she visits her fiance's family from time to time as well. Do I not see anybody for the next 14 days plus the few weeks she's here, or do I make my own decision and tell her that she can decide whether or not to visit based on my actions? My significant other is having outpatient surgery in a few weeks, so I plan on staying with him for a couple of days, and he's required to take a corona test. Assuming he's negative, do I tell her so she backs off a bit maybe? No! You doing too much. What you do is tell your daughter, look, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do because it's my life and it's my house. What you need to do, since you have a depressed immune system, is stay your ass at your house where it's safe. That's what you need to do. Don't come here because don't think I'm going to do nothing that's going to cater to you. I'm going to have people in my house if I want to. I'm going to go to their house if I want to. I'm going to go up and down the street where I want to. I'm going to go to the grocery store when I want to. I'm going to do what the fuck I please because I'm grown. You don't tell me what to do. Now that's how it's going to be. And when my significant other gets out the hospital, I'm going to bring him here. So if you have a problem with any of those things, then you need to stay your happy ass at your house where you control shit. You don't control nothing over here. Everything up in this bitch is mine. And I'm the only one who makes decisions about what goes on under this roof, not you. So that's the rule. And if you do decide to come here, don't tell me shit because I will send you packing. You will be here for about 30 minutes and then you'll be back on the road going back to your house. So I'm just those are your choices. So make it work. I'll see you at some point in the near future. Hopefully. Bye-bye. And that would be that. No. I'm just like, who you? You paying bills in this bitch? Are you doing anything like that where you have some say so about what goes on in my world? These kids be doing the most. That's just a bit much. So that's what I would suggest. You need to put your daughter in check. You bending over backward, just letting her run your life. What's wrong with you? You have to forget. You must have forgot somewhere down the line that you're the parent and she's the child. It doesn't matter that she's an adult now. You're always going to be more of an adult than she is, but however many years you are older than her. Okay, that gap is never going to close. She's never going to catch up to you in adultness. So you don't have to listen to shit she got to say. I don't know what you're doing. I wish my daughter would come trying to tell me something. So we could have as they say, across the pond, a row. We would have a row. I mean, that wouldn't work for me. Don't be around somebody for 14. You know what? I would just walk up and down the street just because with no mask and tell her, oh, guess what? I walked up and down the street with no mask so that she wouldn't come. Question number 3, female, 26 to 29 out of Chicago. So this is difficult, disturbing, uncomfortable. Wow. Topic for me. I believe my mother is inappropriate. And I struggle with knowing if I am making more out of something than I should or if it really is an inappropriate thing for her to do. My mother has a job where she deals with children. Where's my cough drop? This fan, that's what it is, blowing dust in my face. My mother has a job where she deals with children who suffer some sort of abuse, ailments, disabilities, etc. It's possible that she'll encounter children who may have been sexually abused. It's also possible for her to encounter many children who have not been abused like that and suffer from either an unstable home or something of the sort. My mother often talks about child molestation in grave detail. Too often, so often that I get really uncomfortable. It is the amount of detail that she goes into that makes me so uncomfortable. So she's telling you details of, I mean, even though she's not mentioning names and all that, so you don't really know who they are, but she's mentioning all these details about the cases that she's working on. So it sounds like she's a social worker. It's the amount of detail that she goes into makes me uncomfortable. It's the fact that she talks about it so often that I am uncomfortable with as well. I explained to her that I do not feel comfortable when she speaks of this topic. We were on the phone and she began to talk and I stopped her and told her I don't want to hear it. She continued anyway. She has been so inappropriate in the past that I stopped speaking to her for months. When I tell her I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to hear it, she responds with, "This is my job. Sorry for talking about my job." The way I see it, she doesn't have to go into so much detail and why continue to talk about it with me if you know I'm uncomfortable. That topic is not everyday chit chat. It's disturbing, and I've never met anyone that does the job that speaks like this. I get so angry with her about it, I just cannot be around her. I've recently stopped speaking to her again. Some of my guilt comes from the fact that I believe my mother's lonely. She's always there to help me financially, and when I stop speaking to her, it makes me feel like I'm not being there for her. But how can I be if I'm so angry and uncomfortable? I'm a little scared to hear your response, but go ahead. Oh boy. Uh, I don't know why you're upset thinking I'm going to ream you or something because I agree with you. Having worked in an environment like that, it's you mentioned generalities about things because, maybe it's disturbing to you and so that's your way of, getting out your frustration or whatever. But if she has that kind of feelings about it, she should probably line up through her work some kind of counseling because they offer that. When you work in those kind of crisis environments, they offer mental health counseling as part of the job because they know it's going to affect you mentally. They know it's going to affect you emotionally. They don't want you to be suffering with that stress and the trauma and bring it home to your family. So they provide that kind of assistance for those kind of crisis intervention workers. And police, all of everybody, gets that kind of is offered anyway. So with your mother, why she insists on doing that when you tell her it bothers you though. See, that's the part that's bothering me. I can see her wanting to, talk about it a little bit because we all talk about our jobs. But if you specifically tell her, you're talking about too much detail and it's bothering me, I don't want to hear it. Well, see, you're putting up a boundary there that she's totally ignoring and it's a marked lack of respect. Even though you're her child, you don't have to hear that kind of stuff. You didn't choose to do that line of work because obviously it's something that you couldn't handle. So in this situation, your mother helping you out with money, you better get your shit straight so that you don't ask her for a dime. You plenty old enough. You don't need no help from your mama. Whatever it is that's going on in your world where you overspending, stop doing it. Manage your money better. Grow up. Okay? Because you can't be having your hand out and acting like a child on one hand and wanting her to be there for you and at your beck and call and all this stuff. And then as soon as she does something that you don't like, well, then you shut her down. Then you back because you need something from her. So now you listening to her again. No, see, that's some bullshit. I'm going to call you on the bullshit flag on that. Either you be all the way in or you be all the way out. So you don't want to hear it. That means you don't hear it. That means you don't ask her for shit either. Okay, you get you a second job. You do whatever you need to do because that's what grown folks do. They're going to run into their mama when it's convenient for them. And then when it's not convenient, they shut her down and don't want to talk to her. See, that's not how this works. That I am going to ream you about. But as far as, you not want to hear the sordid details of all these cases of children being violated, I am with you 100% on that. And, what you have to do, though, is be very firm. It sounds like your mother lives a distance away. So you're talking to her, right? She gets started on that routine. You say, Mom, I don't want to talk about this. And if you continue to talk about this, I'm going to hang up. And then if she continues talking about that, you hang up. Now, that's how you teach people. You don't keep talking, talking, talking. You disconnect. And then a week or so later, you call her like nothing's ever happened, right? And then you see if she does it again, you hang up. So she will gradually be taught that, I can't talk about this with her because she's going to hang up and I won't have to be able to have a conversation with her. And you're going to do this very respectfully and you're going to warn her that that's what you're going to do. You're not going to just throw a tantrum and hang up the phone in her face. Okay, you're going to do it, like an adult. So, I'm not comfortable with this. I've explained it to you several times. I don't want to hear it. I'm sure there's some kind of HIPAA violation in what you're doing anyway. Please stop. Okay, she don't stop, you hang up. That's it. That's all you got to do. What's up, Cat? Hey, lady boss. Everybody's in the chat. Yeah, I mean this is hard. I knew a guy who worked for this thing in San Francisco called KSARC Child Abuse something. That's what RSC. Anyways, I forget what the acronym was. I'm sure it's still going. Dude was a hot man. He was a nervous wreck. He did that kind of work because he cared. But you get to see as a police officer working in a unit like that, the sickest, most twisted individuals in the world. Dude would take a cigarette, okay, like this is his cigarette, right? That's in his mouth. He's smoking this one. He would take this one and and light it from this one and then put this one in his mouth. He was a chain smoker, like that kind of chain smoker. Ah, my fan blew my paper down. So, and so finally he was able to do it, I think 5 or 6 years, and then he had to quit. So they're constantly churning people in those kind of jobs because they can't handle it. It's just too much. It's too much. Now she don't need to help her mother do shit. Her mother is a grown woman. The mother is responsible. The mother's older than her. And once you start thinking about you gonna help somebody with addiction, see, then you slide into that codependent shit. No, we don't do that here. We never recommend that you help nobody do nothing with their addiction. It's theirs. They own it. They own the recovery from it. They own every step that it took them to get to be addicted. They own every step it's going to take them to get away from the addiction. You don't owe them shit. And don't you dare try to put yourself in a position where you're going to help somebody. If that ain't your line of work where you getting a big old fat ass paycheck and you got MSW or MS whatever after your name, PhD, something like that, then you ain't helping nobody do a goddamn thing because that's outside the scope of your reality. You're not qualified. You're just going to be putting yourself in a trick bag. And I will never, ever, ever recommend that somebody do that. Yeah, it is a very high turnover job, Diana, because they can't do it. It disturbs you when you go into it. They have like these idealistic ideas. I'm going to help people, and that's great because the kids do need that kind of help. But after years of seeing so many people just so fucked up in the head, and the kids all messed up, so this is going to carry forward to them. They're never going to be right. They're never going to be the same. Horrible things, horrible, horrible, horrible. And the guy, I mean, his hands used to shake when he was doing his cases and stuff. I'm just be sitting there looking at him. And I was like, this dude's going to have a mental breakdown and end up in Napa somewhere. He has to get away from there. And sure enough, he did. He couldn't take it. Yeah, no, we don't help people here. You help yourself. I will never, ever, ever tell anybody, if you can, unless it's a child, you don't help nobody do shit. You don't help no adults do a goddamn thing. They do it on their own. They got themselves into that shit. You didn't help them get all fucked up, so why you think it's going to be your responsibility to help them get out of it? No, don't you ever. No woman here is going to help a man do nothing. And you're not going to help your mother with her addiction. You ain't going to help your daddy with her addiction. You ain't going to help your sister or brother with theirs either. They found their way to it. They're going to find their way out of it. That's the only way it ever works. Everybody hovering around trying to help somebody, they don't never hit bottom. So then they don't never get up on their own, which is part of, recovering from this stuff. Question number 4. This is from a female. Ooh, it's hot. In the 30 to 36 age group. She just puts USA. I'm a therapist and I'm in my late 30s. Even before COVID hit, I was starting to see more of my female friends and clients being described as low libido because they have no desire to have eggplants with their husband. Often I hear them say things like, I wouldn't care if we never did it again. I just never feel like doing it. However, these same women get into affairs or can't get enough of their AP, I don't know what that means. Or they get divorced and then they can't get enough of their new boyfriend. So that's not really low libido. Seems a lot of women are in long-term relationships with or married to pretty neat guys, but just feel no spark or desire towards him. I mean, he doesn't beat you. He doesn't verbally abuse you. He works full time, supports the family. He's a good father. But you may believe that he's a bad partner because you demonize him in your mind to justify your lack of interest. Okay, you getting ready to get cussed out, Miss Therapist. I also think lots of women say they have low libido because they assume that that must be the problem if they don't want to have it with their husbands who they really do care about. And then if they do realize what's happening, they will rarely admit to it because they don't want to be seen as a bad spouse or a slut, and they honestly don't want to hurt their husband's feelings or bruise his ego. I think more often than not, this is what's happening in long-term relationships. Women lose desire for their husband because they're bored with him. He's probably still fairly attractive to her uh, in that if he weren't her husband, she'd check him out and walk by on the street. He's probably a good person, a good father, pretty good partner. She really wishes she wanted to do it with him because it's causing problems in her marriage, but just doesn't want to. What do you think about all this? I think you full of shit. That's what I think. Number one, okay, you named what you did what I call naming some basic shit. Basic adult stuff. And you think that somebody's supposed to get credit for being a quote good husband and you never want to leave them just because they have a job. They don't beat you, which they ain't supposed to do. They don't verbally abuse you, which they ain't supposed to do. And he works full time and supports his kids. That's what a motherfucker is supposed to do when you sit up there making babies. But why do you think somebody get a cookie and a round of applause and parade for that? That's basic shit. And you think that's enough to satisfy a woman in a marriage? You are stupid. Now, this is one thing I say a lot of therapists. I understand the question, sweetie. That's okay. You don't have to. I do. This is the thing here. This is what I said about a lot of therapists. They go into that field because they're crazy as a Betsy bug. They got their own issues to work out, and so they think they're going to be helping somebody else. In reality, you too fucked up to help somebody else, and your thinking right here shows it. You don't even understand what marriage is all about. It's not about some basic shit, the man having a job. It's about how does that man take care of you emotionally, mentally? How is he there for his family? Somebody can have a job and do all this stuff that you're talking about and never talk to his wife. They have no time together. He don't do shit to her. Or he's an addict of some sort, and you know the kind, the popcorn kind. But see, under your situation, just because he doesn't verbally abuse you and beat you, and he has a job and he goes to work full time, that makes him a great guy. There's so much more to having an intimate relationship that works, especially that works long term. And when a woman is feeling overburdened because, he does this stuff, but he don't do nothing around the house. He messes up. He don't spend no time with his kids. He has no relationship with his children. He's losing relationship with his wife. They feel like he's a stranger in their own house. Nobody talks to him, and he doesn't talk to anybody else either. His wife asks him to do stuff with her. He don't do it. His wife asks him, well, honey, can you fold the clothes? Can you help the kids, bathe the kids, help them with the homework, do nothing? No, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So he's like distance himself. Mentally, emotionally. A lot of men have this problem. The kids are like peripherals to him. He has no real relationship with his family at all. And so, but in your mind, that's a good man. And why would you want to not have the hots for that? So this woman who is overburdened and overworked and stressed is angry. She's angry at him. She's angry because the dream that they had and the promises he made, he's not following through. He's full of shit. And even though one thing you didn't mention in here too is he doesn't cheat. A lot of them cheat. Even if they don't cheat with somebody in the face, they cheating online. They on these dating sites and stuff. They're doing all kind of stuff that they shouldn't be doing that hurts their wives. Okay, so accumulation of emotional pain and distance. The woman's lonely. The woman's horny. The woman wants some romance. She wants all the stuff. She asks for it from her husband for years most of the time. They don't give it to him. So then she meets somebody who offers it, and guess what? There she goes. Next thing you know, they're in divorce court. And the guy's trying to figure out what he did. Well, I go to work all the time, and I don't beat her, and I have a job, and I take care of my kids. Those are all things you're supposed to do as a mature adult. You don't get credit for that. So this is you on some bullshit. In other words, and trying to say that they have to justify it. Nobody has to justify shit, especially not to you. Every person who gets married got married for a different reason, but every single woman gets married with the idea in mind that this is going to be her life partner. and that they're going to have a relationship that's close and that gets even better as the years go by. And when that doesn't happen, she ends up disillusioned. When he leaves her by herself, when he abandons her emotionally, mentally, physically, psychologically, and she's doing all the work in the household for everybody in there all by herself, while he just coasts and goes to work and doesn't beat her. You got a nation full of furious women, and that's why a lot of women, once they get a divorce, they have no interest in getting married. That's why when she leaves him and gets a new man, he hasn't hurt her like that, so she don't have those feelings of resentment towards him. So of course he's getting the full benefit of her sexuality and her joy, because he hasn't hurt her like her husband did. You, as a therapist, should know this. I shouldn't have to tell you this. The fact that I have to explain this to you means that you are a piss poor ass therapist. Now, question number 5, female 21 to 25 out the UK. My boyfriend and I have been sharing our own apartment for about 4 months now. While he'll tidy and clean up his belongings, he seems to not believe in the actual cleaning that's required to keep a living space nice. Sweeping, mopping, dusting, scrubbing the bathroom, etc. Oh, he's a pig pen. He simply thinks if his belongings aren't out of place, then there's no other cleaning he should have to do. When I try to explain that no matter how tidy we are, the floors and surfaces still need to be cleaned, his answer that if I believe it should be cleaned, I should do it because I work less hours than him, even though we split all the bills. I started my own business. He's a landscaper. So unfortunately, he does work more hours than me. But since my business is growing well, I now make more money working less hours than he does. But being that we split all of the bills and both cover our own expenses to live here, I don't believe I should have to take on all of the cleaning. I already also work full time, so it's not like I'm working 10 hours a week and him 50. Before this, he lived at home where he was not responsible for any cleaning. I like to clean our apartment thoroughly once a week and do basic stuff a few times a week, so I don't expect it to be immaculate 24/7, just normal hygiene. I also want to add that if I nag enough to get him to do something simple like sweep the floor, he'll do a really lazy job. Otherwise, he's a good guy who isn't lazy. He works hard and cares, but this is really getting frustrating. Any advice would be helpful. Yes, move out. You try living with him, you see he's a fucking pig. That's the kind of person who, because he puts his clothes in the drawer, the floor could have an inch thick layer of grime on it, and he's going to be okay with that. The counters don't never get washed off. This is where you prepare food and stuff. He's going to be okay with that. The bathroom, he going to sit his ass on the toilet that's never been washed, the seats never been cleaned off, and he's got piss stains all over the floor around the toilet bowl, because men always miss, and he's going to be okay with that. Hair and shit all in the sink, grime in the sink, scum in the sink, in the bathtub. He gonna be okay with that because his clothes is in the drawer. Now this is what you got. This is what you living with. Luckily, you found out before you married it. So you have two choices. That money that you making, you can bring somebody to clean, come in and clean. You gonna have to pay him though, because he gonna feel like he's not his responsibility. That's if you want to continue living with him. I wouldn't want to. Or you can say, this isn't working. You need to move back to your mother where somebody's gonna be taking care of you like a child, because that's not gonna be me. Get out. And then you just break up with him. Yeah, he's nasty. He's like a child. He's used to his mommy cleaning up after him and stuff. The mommy doing all the work, and she never made him do any household chores. Obviously, his whole childhood, he spent, sitting on his ass while his mother did all the work. That's what I tell y'all. If you got sons, I've done from the time they're 6 years old, make them start doing some work. They can empty garbage, the waste paper baskets in the rooms. They can help you fold clothes. They can put clothes from the washing machine into the dryer. The kids can do chores, and you should, especially if you have sons, make their asses do some work. Sweep and mop and take out trash and stuff like that from the time they're 6 years old. Don't let them sit on their ass doing nothing. You make them work. They can run a vacuum cleaner. They can dust. They can polish furniture. They can do all kind of stuff. Every kid in the house should be having some work to do. Don't let them get by. Don't you be doing all the work by yourself. Shit, you don't live there by yourself. Why you think you should be doing all the work? I wish I would be having some kids living off of me like they was princes and princesses. Get your little dusty ass in there and do some work. But yeah, because if you don't, this is what you grow up. This is the kind of child you produce. This is what you unleash onto the world. And then you expect to have, like a daughter-in-law that's happy to be married to your rotten, spoiled ass, no good piece of shit son. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Help mama cook, do something. They need to do well, actually a whole bunch of somethings. And not only that, what people parents don't realize, it gives your children a sense of accomplishment. It builds their self-esteem to know that they're helping. And when you tell them you did a really good job, you're going to turn out to be a great chef. You're going to grow up and be a wonderful dad. You're going to take really good care of your kids because you know how to do these things. This and that. That builds your child's self-esteem up. If you don't never give them an opportunity to prove that they can be successful at something, that's no wonder kids have all this low self-esteem. Your parents have done that. You run around doing everything for them. They never have any challenges. They never get a chance to be successful at anything. And you take all those opportunities away from them by treating them like they're little kings or something. Make their little asses do something. There's a great sense of accomplishment when they shine the bathroom and then the sunlight comes in and all the stuff hits the tile. It's going bling like in the commercial. And you can tell them that, God, this looks like a TV commercial in here. And I'm like, it's so bright. It's and kids love that kind of shit. Okay? It's rewarding for them. So give your children that. The submission form is in the bottom of each show. Go down in the show description and you'll see the link. And then you can submit it for the next, for next week or week after. So we do them in the order in which they are received. Okay, let's move on. Question number 6, male, finally, 46 to 55, USA. So here's the situation, Deb. I have a female friend. I've been friends with her for over 20 years. And although my wife isn't friends with her per se, she knows her. My wife and I actually went to their wedding. So my friend is currently going through a separation with her husband, but they still live together and are attempting to be civil until they can actually physically separate and start divorce. My friend and I have usually gotten together a few times a year for coffee or lunch and might sporadically talk on the phone. We have absolutely no prior romantic history. Over the course of the past year, we got a little closer because we both got involved in a local theater company. When I say we got closer, I mean we started having coffee maybe once a month, and we usually talk or text a couple of times per week. I was not trying to hide any of this from my wife. Okay, but then about 6 months ago, my wife told me that she had a problem with me hanging out with my friend alone for coffee or anything, and so I said, okay, and stopped doing that. My wife then accepted a friend request my friend had sent her like 10 years ago, then started following her on Instagram, and now we have gotten to the point where my wife does not want me to like any of her posts. Your wife is tripping. On Facebook or Instagram, and she doesn't want me to proactively communicate with my friend. Again, keep in mind, nothing out of line has ever happened with my friend. Well, I rarely like any of my friends' posts, but I liked an Instagram post in which she posted about an award she won for her art, and my wife flipped out. My feeling is that it is utterly ridiculous for my wife to not expect me to acknowledge any post of someone who I have known for 20 plus years. Meanwhile, I'm liking posts by people who I'm not even as remotely close to. I also feel like it's silly for my wife to not want me to communicate with someone I am friends with, especially if I'm being open about the communication and none of it is inappropriate. I would like to find a middle ground here, but my wife seems to want me to just cut my friend out of my life completely, which I don't feel is right. Am I being unreasonable? No, you're not. Your wife is. You don't say, wait, how long have you been with this wife? Okay, you don't say how long you've been with this wife. That's some vital information you left out. But you say you've been friends with this woman for 20 plus years. Now, I had a guy I was dating. We weren't married. I was dating him, though. We was actually living together. That was my first mistake. No, dating him was my first mistake. Living with him was my second mistake. Okay, so I had, my whole life I've had a lot of male friends. I don't really have a lot of female friends. And a few, but not a lot. Most of my friends have always been guys. And so I get with him, right? So, my dudes, they coming up, they help me move in, as a matter of fact. They're trying to be friends with dude, inviting him places and stuff, to become, if he's somebody important to me, they trying to be, what I mean? They trying to be supportive to me by letting him be a part of their circle and stuff. Go play basketball with him, work out with him, hang out with him, drink beers with him, go watch a game with him, all this kind of stuff. Right? They're trying to include him in their dude stuff. This clown. And so instead of that, he gonna try to tell me how I can't be friends with them, and because he's here now and all this and that. And I remember looking at him, thinking, wow, these guys have been my friends. Like when some like major crisis moments in my life, they had my back. So what would I do to turn my back on them just because this clown is feeling insecure? So I told him, and these were my exact words. I said, "Well, that's we're not going to do that because they were my friends before I met you, and they're going to still be my friends long after you're gone." Those words were prophetic because less than a year later, me and him were history. And guess what? I still had them same friends. So, with you, sir, you have to sit your wife down and ask her what is the problem. Okay, you're saying all these things, you're doing all these things. What is going on in your head that is making you say these things? You need to find out what she's feeling. Why? Because there could be two things. Now she's feeling like this person, since this person knew you better, knew you first, that they know you better, that you two are closer. She sees some kind of communication or something that was happening between you, the two of you, that you don't have with her. So she's envious. It could be something like that. It could also be that, when people start acting like you cheating, very often you need to look behind the door and see what's really going on because it's really them. Okay. That's another option. And then the third one is she's just insecure and jealous. And it doesn't matter what you say or what you do. She's not cheating or anything, but she's just so insecure about herself that she wants you all to herself like a control freak. In which case you have to say, that's never going to happen, dear. I love you, but you're not going to put me in a choke collar like I'm a dog. Where I'm not going to do that. I'm going to maintain my friendships. I will never disrespect you or our marriage. I've already stopped going out with her because you asked me to. That's it. That's the limit. Anything else is crossing the boundaries, and I'm not going to do it. What you have to do is either trust your husband or not. So which one is it? Do you trust me or do you not? If the answer is no, then why are we even here? Pack your stuff and get the fuck out. Now, that would be me. I know everybody's not me, but I'm not going to be going through them kind of changes with somebody who's supposed to be my wife, I'm husband, nobody. I'm not going to do it. You're going to either get with the program the way that I have it rolling, which knows I will totally respect you. I always have and I always will. If you don't believe that, then that's doubt that you have, and there's nothing I can do about that. You're going to carry that. It doesn't matter who it is. It's me right now, but it wouldn't matter who it is. You're going to always be like that because the problem is you, in which case I'm out. I don't do insecure men. I just can't do it. They are in the 46 to 55 age group. Now, he's probably older, than her rather. So he's in the 40s. Let's say he's 46 and she's 38 or 40 or something. You know what I mean? But still, whatever it is, that's too old to be acting like this. Unless he's way older than her. But he would have seemed like he would have mentioned that. But, for him to have a friend that he's had more than 20 years, that means it's somebody he met in his 20s, right? Early 30s or something. And he's just been friends with her. Question 7, female 26 to 29 in the UK. I've been in a relationship with my partner for more than 4 months now, and it's been beyond amazing. And has gone so much better than I could have ever imagined, considering this is my first real relationship. During lockdown, we lived together for many weeks, and since leaving to live at home, he has been having an episode due to his cyclothemia. Oh, thanks, Leah. I saw that big old boxer pop up. Thank you very much. Cyclothemia. Maybe somebody could look it up. But if I remember correctly, because I used to work at a hospital, that is some kind of version of what they call bipolar. Uh, that manic depressive stuff. It's some version of that, as I recall. But anyway, somebody could look it up. It's CYCLOTHYMIA is how it's spelled, just to make sure that I'm on the right track. I've known he had the condition for a long time, but I hadn't really witnessed it until now. We speak every day, and I call him when he spirals emotionally to try to calm and comfort him. See, she's doing too much. I always try to calm him and get him to breathe deeply when he is crying. And oh, God, fucking damn. And I tell him it will be okay with time. I never get angry or impatient with him, and I've heard that just listening to people is often better than trying to bombard them with advice. Today he told me that he says I don't help him enough and he can't trust me to support him when he needs me. I have researched a condition on Google, but I don't find very good information on how to help him. Usually just tells me about symptoms. Auntie Deb, it is so painful to see him like this, and I know I will never fully comprehend how he is feeling, and I do feel as I do my best to try to help as much as possible, despite living far away. I know I can personally be better, but I often don't know the right and wrong things to say or do to try to help. Do you know of anyone who has had this condition? If you have any advice for me on how I can support him better and be more specific in helping him through, it would be much appreciated. Okay, wait a minute. Let me read this. Okay, you live together for many weeks, but now you're very far away. You speak every day. You're in the 26 to 29 age group. It's your first real relationship. You've known he's had this condition for a while, and it's your first real relationship. I'm going to tell you this. It's your first real relationship. You should be coming to a screeching halt. Get rid of this dust bucket, this mentally ill dust bucket. Okay, you about to get sucked into a narc games here, where nothing you ever do is gonna be good enough. He's gonna suck you dry with his neediness, using his disease as an excuse. See, I don't. This is exactly why I don't do mentally ill people. Soon as they tell me that they got a problem, they popping pills for it, they seeing a shrink for it, they flipping out about it, all this other stuff. I'm out. I'm out. I'm not a shrink. Ain't trying to be one. That's why I done never went to, I minored in it. But, then you got to go get licenses. You got to do internships and you got to do practicums, all this old shit. See, Deb, I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with no crazy people. Y'all dealing with y'all online of doing this is enough for me. I'm done. I'm at my limit just dealing with this kind of stuff here. Can you imagine if I had to look at this face to face? I would lose my mind and have to hear this shit. I'd be cussing people out. I wouldn't have my license for 10 minutes. So now I knew better to ever try to get one. It would be pointless paying all that money going to school for all the time just to have them snatch it. Thank you, verbal assassin. Yes, I did say that, didn't I? I'm just for real though. This is just ridiculous. Young lady, a relationship is not supposed to be like your name is Nurse Ratchet and you taking care of some broken piece of man. That's what can he do for you and give you when everything is coming from you towards him to take care of his brokenness? Don't you see what a waste of time this is? Don't you understand how depleted you're going to be if you deal with months more of this? It's only been 4 months and you're already doubting yourself, feeling like you're not good enough, that there's something wrong with you, that you can't help him. You're already doubting yourself and feeling like, you're less and not feeling his needs. Get out of this relationship, okay? Tell him that it's been a great 4 months, but you realize that his problems are some that are beyond the scope of your little self, with your little first relationship self, and it's nothing that you can do for him. He's broken. Okay, he is a broken person. He needs deep, deep, deep psychological counseling that you can't provide. Please don't even waste your time trying. Let this go. Okay, let this go. Find you a guy who's whole and healthy and who can give to you as much as he takes from you. Because you sound like, you really want to take care of your man and all this stuff. Well, you should have a man that's got the same idea to take care of his lady. And then y'all would you just be wonderful together. Taking care of each other, that's the ideal relationship. In this situation right here, it's completely one-sided. You're taking care of him. He ain't doing shit from you except telling you what you're not doing good enough. You need to do more of. Don't you understand here? I want you to listen to my response to you, and then I want you to take action and get rid of him and block him so he can't call you back no more. Yeah, she need to listen. Man, I be checking up the deuces. I'm telling you, I be like Bruce Lee. Wah, 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 and be out. Because I just can't. I can't with these dudes. Any sign of this crack, cray, cray, cray? You say one cray, cray thing, and hit me with some hotep lines. All that. I'm out. I'm out. Yeah, we're not doing that in 2020. We're not doing that. All right, question number 8. I'm just saying, y'all. Just saying. Female 26 to 30 in the UK. I had something interesting happen to me recently. I want to know if you think these are red flags. I'm going to say this. If you have to think about it, the answer is probably yes. Yeah, struggle love. Girl, it ain't even love in there. It's just struggle. Period. Oh, somebody keeping track? Thanks, Robin. Yes, this is question number 8. She says, I've got chatting to a seemingly nice man online. Due to have a social distance date outside tomorrow. I have concerns, though. Number 1, immediately told me that I'm out of his league. Really, I'm not that special. Number 2, is already saying he really likes me and wants to show me off to his friends. Number 3, wants to delete his profile even though we haven't met yet. Number 4, has told his mom about me. His mum and his friends about me. See above, Ray, not having met. Number 5 is full of flowery compliments and pet names. Wants to send pizza to my work as I work in healthcare and wants to, quote, show his appreciation to the healthcare workers. Number 6, lied about his age on his profile, saying he was 40 when he's really 46. And number 7, keeps telling me how everyone thinks he's lovely and a great guy. Deb is disappointing me because it started off promising a guy who could actually string a sentence together. But I'm starting to have a feeling of dread, not excitement. I need to cancel and run, don't I? Oh, girl, yes. I'm so happy to see you. You understand. You understand. What's going on here is he's doing his seduction thing. He's doing what y'all call this? Love bombing. He's doing his love bomb. And for women with very low self-esteem who need that kind of validation and acknowledgement, this kind of thing works because they're so empty inside and they feel like a shell unless somebody is telling them that they're beautiful. They don't believe it. Unless someone's telling them that they're, cute and adorable and wonderful and wants to be with them and all stuff, they don't feel like they are worth anything. So he's used to those kind of women. So he's running that kind of game on you. And like I said, for most women, it works because they're just like so empty inside and their self-esteem is so low. For you, though, it's like, this is so suspect as hell. And luckily you have some self-esteem, so it's not working on you the way he was hoping it would. I'm going to say this. Nobody, let me start from the top. Okay, you're out of his league. Okay, believe him. That alone should have told you that he wasn't worth nothing. Okay, what man says that? Even if he thinks it, he's not going to say it to you. But that's a manipulation tactic to have you say, so here you go with, well, I'm really not that special. The fuck you not. Every woman is special. You're special because you tell yourself you are. He acknowledges and he recognizes it, and so here he is telling you he's not good enough. It means he doesn't measure up, in which case you were supposed to tell him, oh, really? Well, I want a man who's confident and feels like, he's on a par with me. He's, we're on the same level, and so you don't feel that way, so let's not waste each other's time. That's what you're supposed to tell him. So then he goes down to number 2. He says he really likes you, wants to show you off to his friends. No. Number 3, he wants to delete his profile even though you haven't even met yet. Thirsty motherfucker. Number 4, he's told his mother and his friends about you. That doesn't mean he actually did it, but if he did, he's, again, thirst bucket. All these compliments and all that stuff, scrambling for attention, scrambling to be acknowledged, scrambling to be on the inside of your life and feel like he's got to end, set up his flying monkey team and all this old stuff. No, no, no. And then trying to convince you that everybody says he's lovely and a great guy. Well, can't I figure that out for myself? Why do you feel like you need to be your own pub here? So all in all, you have the right idea. This is a date that you need to cancel, and then you need to immediately block him and go on with your life. That was the resolve all of these problems. Yeah, she's got the feeling, but see, once again, this is another case of a woman feeling something in her gut, but not trusting herself. Y'all got to trust yourself. Your feminine energy is telling you this is a dangerous situation. This man is not right in the head. There's something about this situation that's high risk and that could be hurtful for me, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or financially, spiritually, whatever. Your innate being is warning you of danger, and you're not. She's tuned into it, but she's wrestling with trusting it and accepting it. And a lot of you will dismiss it. No, I shouldn't think like that. I shouldn't be like that. I should give him a chance. I'm just being evil. I'm just being that. And of course, the dudes are going to reinforce that because they want to get in and have the opportunity to screw you over. So if your barriers are strong, your boundaries are strong, and you pay attention to your warning bells, they would never get that chance. So of course they're gonna tell you, you just being too hard. You need to give somebody a chance. Love just don't come the way you want it to. You've been watching too much TV. You got all them kind of men in your mind from the soap operas. That's not real. Real men mess up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're gonna tell you all that kind of stuff, and then you guys, it's gonna get in your head, and you're gonna start doubting the first impressions that you had that were warning you that he was on some bullshit. And so you have to learn to trust yourself. Okay, trust yourself. Trust yourself, please. Even if you are scared, trust yourself. You felt it in your gut. Something told you that was wrong, that he's crazy, that he's not right in the head. Trust yourself. Get rid of him. Okay, get rid of him. Thanks, Flora. Is that pounds? Flora's in the UK. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Y'all, come on now. Question number 9 from a man, young man, 21 to 26, out of Indianapolis. Hey, Lady Deb, he says. Oh, how cute. Hi, Lady Deb. So check this out. My ex has a new man in her life, but she every now and then asks me random stuff through Instagram, like where she can buy tires for her car, fix something. She also asked me about a game she just purchased instead of just finding out for herself. She also told me to tell my mom Happy Mother's Day. What the fuck is up? I find it odd that these things are things her new man could not help her with. Does this happen to anyone else that you know of? What is she doing? She trying to keep you, on the hook. So in case something go bad with dude, she can bounce back to you saying, oh, I've always still felt so close to you. I really missed you. I just don't know why I did what I did and said what I said. I made a mistake. Whatever. Anyway, it's going to be some dragon drama to try to make y'all get back together. Don't fall for that. It's your ex. Okay, y'all broke up for a reason. Stay focused on that. Move on with your life. So she's got this new dude, but she's steady calling you. You know how you can prevent that? Y'all don't have no kids together, right? So there's no reason for her to be in contact with you. Block and delete. Block her on social media. Block her on your phone. Block her on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter. All them little options, TikToks, all that. Block her on everything. And shut that down, okay? Because not only is it, bothersome to you, her trying to keep you on the hook and play this game with you, she's tricking her own boyfriend. Okay, she should not be asking her ex shit when she got a man. Ask that motherfucker, which is really what you should have told her. She come asking you some stuff. Your one line should be, ask that nigga you fucking. That's what you tell her, okay? And then she would be all offended and everything, but I bet you one thing. You'd say that to her 2 or 3 times. She'd get a hint, and then she'd start bothering you. Man, why couldn't I be a dude? I'm sure I was it before, but that's what I would tell some woman calling me with some bullshit. Ask that motherfucker you fucking. I'm sure he got some answers. I don't have shit for you. Okay? And then it would just be shortened down the next, that would be the first time, and then after that it would just be ask that motherfucker you fucking. And like I said, you said it a couple of times. She'll be all right. She'll be straight. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't have shit for you. Don't ask me nothing. I charge for answers. What they call that? Cash app? Cash me $50 and I got an answer for you. Other than that, ask that nigga you fucking. Question number 9. 10 now. We're on female. 18 to 21. Quebec City, Quebec. How would you suggest I deal with sexist male customers at my job? I work in retail. Deb, a few days ago, I had my first encounter with a customer who asked me for advice and then proceeded to cut me off halfway through my answer to ask my male colleague who was nearby the same question and receive the exact same answer. How old are you? 18 to 21. Okay. I was shocked at the time, but it quickly turned into irritation. The experience felt so belittling. So, how do you deal with this sort of behavior from customers? Is there any way around it? I can tell you this. I have never worked in retail or food service. You know why? My mouth. I already know that wouldn't last for probably more than a day. So, but I will try to tone it down and give you the answer. So, what this guy did was intentionally try to dismiss you, uh, your knowledge and experience. So, you had a couple of options here. One is, of course, you'll never see this fat fool again. So, it doesn't really matter what he thinks or what he did. In the grand scheme of your life, he's less than a drop in a bucket. Is that something to get upset about? Not really. Not in this instance. But so we're not going to necessarily focus on him. What we're going to focus on is your feelings about it and what you should say or do so that you don't go, so you walk away feeling, okay. So in a situation like this, and this depends, of course, totally on your personality, you could either say, when he walked away, go ask the male person, and got the same answer. You could say to him, so did the answer change because you asked a male? Is that what you were looking for? Be like direct. Like, did you think because I'm a woman that I didn't know the answer? Is that what was going on here? Okay, so when you're direct to people like that, they kind of try to bully you. They get the eyes bucking and stuttering and and they deny that that's what they was trying to do. But, that's the direct and assertive way to do it. Most women would have a problem with doing something like that. Another thing would be to wait until he finished, with the guy and say, well, now that you heard the exact same information, are you ready to make a purchase now? May I recommend anything else for you, and see what he says. Because the whole point of him asking the guy was to try to invalidate you. So the fact that you've now been validated, especially if you get credit for the sale, some kind of commission. Oh no, motherfucker, that's going on my tab. I don't care what I have to say to you. I'm getting the credit for the sale because you asked me first and I gave you the same answer. So it's going on to my employee number. So I get the credit for the sale. So you don't let somebody's attitude get in the way of your money. That's, you don't do that. So, but you do want to, let them know that you understood what was going on and you check them and then you go on. So like I said, there's three ways. Either you can do that and, follow up and recommend him other stuff and try to up the sale while he's feeling guilty. You see what I mean? He's buying a shirt. Well, here, you should get this tie too. This goes really well with that. Up your sale. Make that motherfucker apologize with a purchase. Or or like I said, just run by him like it's, does it feel better? Did you get the answer more meaningful because you heard it from the lips of a man than when you heard it from me? Exact same answer. Make him stutter, stammer, and apologize. Or you can completely ignore it. And if he comes walking around the store trying to ask you something else, go to the back of the store and say you're busy right now. And just, ignore him completely. So those are your options. So you just have to decide, I don't know your personality, which one would be you. I'm the aggressive kind. And I would just say some snarky shit to him. Yeah, she'll learn with time, but she needs some ideas. When people are real young like this, especially if they don't hear that kind of stuff around them, they don't see any examples of it, so they don't know what to do. No one's ever told them. They've never even seen it or heard it. So for her writing, she's looking for some ideas. So those are three ways that she can think about, what she has to pick which one's comfortable for her and her personality, and then, and then give her some ideas for how to approach these kind of people in the future. Because this is only the beginning. She's young. This is only the beginning of her working and having to deal with some fucked up kind of men in the workplace. Question number 11, female, 21 to 26 out of London. My boyfriend likes to think of himself as easygoing. However, I find it to be quite tiring to live with. Everything always has to be my choice, from deciding what to have for tea, to deciding where to go for a day out, to how to furnish our house. Every time I ask for his input, I get the same answer. I don't mind, you decide. I know he thinks he's being nice by giving me the choice, but it's so damn exhausting having to think for him as well as myself. This week, for example, I'm working from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Damn. I mentioned being annoyed that I won't have any time to even cook after getting home from work. I'll just have to shower and go straight to bed. He responded with, well, if you tell me what to cook and write out the recipes, I'll cook for you. I know he's trying to be nice, but we've lived together for 2 years now. He knows what food I like. For once, I just like him to take the initiative and do something himself. I do appreciate the things he does for me, and I'm struggling to find a way to tell him that he needs to think for himself without sounding ungrateful. Why is you telling him that you ain't going to want to be his mama guiding his life, making him sound ungrateful? I'm not understanding your line of thinking. Basically, what you need to do is sit your boyfriend down and you say, look, I'm not feeling any testosterone coming out of you at all. And it's like a turn off. You don't make no decisions. You don't have an opinion about nothing. You just like a blimp living here in the house. I may as well be living by myself, except for the fact that I can have a conversation with you. But it's like the interaction and the tension that a woman enjoys with a man, that dynamic, we don't have it. We don't have it. You can't even decide what to cook for dinner. We've been together all this time. You don't know what I like to eat? What have you been paying attention to? What have you been doing all these years? I would read his ass the riot act. Yeah, just sitting there, just like a cotton ball. And then ask him, what is this that you're afraid of that you think is going to happen? See, I'm thinking it's something about his family dynamics. And if you know him better, then think on this. What kind of environment did he grow up in? Sometimes when people don't want to make a decision, they don't want to do it because they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to be criticized for making the wrong decision and wrong choice, or making a choice and then somebody saying, oh, I don't like this. Why did you do this? It's not. So it's a criticism that he can't handle. If he grew up in an environment where he was always criticized, everything he did was wrong, that often results in this kind of adult. They like that way in their child, and they, as an adult, they don't want to make any decision or do anything because they just tell you to do what you want to do, because that way they can never be wrong. They'll never make a choice that you can criticize or condemn or find fault with. So they don't make any choices. They have no decision. They have no opinion. So you might want to think about that. That could very well be what's going on with dude. And, you'd have to think about it. See, my thing is this. Whatever way a man presents himself to be, that's what you got. If he's an adult, that's it. That's what you got. If you don't want a man who can't make decisions and it puts all the burden of everything on you, then you know what time it is. Yeah, I mean, he could be a great guy, so that don't mean he's the great guy for you. And that's the part that everybody seems to get stuck on. Oh, but he's a good man, this and that. So what? He could be a good man to somebody else. He's not a good man for you if you feeling overburdened with responsibility and decision making and frustrated because he never has an opinion or a thought about anything. Boy, that would have me cussing him out. I don't know, Robin. This is just a thing. This is just a horrible moment in her life. Question 12, male, 37 to 45, out of Florida. I'm torn between seeing my family and hurting my wife. This is my second marriage, and we're blending a family of 6, 5 girls and a boy. It was difficult from the beginning. We have been married for 8 years. A few years back, we split up for a while. The stress of losing our jobs and living with her mother and the stress of the kids. We got back together, and that's when my family, my wife and myself, started having some serious problems. Now I want to reconnect with my family, and everybody involved had some blame in the game. However, I feel that if I do, I can't bring my wife with me, and she wouldn't want to come anyway. I believe she would be hurt if I went and spent time with my sister and her family. My sister was a large reason for the separation from all of my family. My wife is constantly making rude comments about her, which makes me angry. I don't say anything about it. I just let it go. So what is your thoughts on this? Oh, well, the first thing is, okay, you say you want to reconnect with your family. Do they want to reconnect with your ass? Especially knowing that your wife and you all still married. There's 2 sides to this, and you all focus on what you want. You haven't checked with your sister. She might want nothing shit to do with your ass. Now, you say she was a large part of why you split up. Do you think that, anything has really changed there? If she was a bitch then, she's still the same bitch. Okay? She's going to still be having the same thing. If anything, people get more. They dig their heels in more. So you don't want to put your family in your wife and your marriage and your kids in a situation where you trying to act like you choosing your sister over them when you don't even know if your sister want to be bothered with your ass yet. So this is what I suggest that you do. Send your sister an email and say, I was thinking about, letting bygones be bygones. and trying to mend fences. We're siblings. We should do this and that and blah, blah, blah. Extend the olive branch, as they say, and see what happens. You don't say shit to your wife until after you hear from your sister. I wouldn't say shit to my wife until after I said not only heard from my sister, but saw my sister one on one somewhere. No kids, no mates. Y'all go someplace at a cafe or somewhere and talk this shit out and see if you can come to some resolution. If that happens, then you can tell your wife. But right now, you all on some pie in the sky stuff. Ain't shit. You talking about what other people gonna do and what you want to do, but you're not. You haven't reached out to these other people to see if they on the same page as you. Yeah, that's a very missing ingredient here. And you got people hurt and mad and all the kind of stuff, and you ain't done nothing yet. It's all in your imagination. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. Check with your sister, because she might tell you, I don't want to look at your fucking ass. In which case, you could just go on back home and just, work on your marriage like you have some damn sense. Question number 13, female 18 to 21, Miami. I've been babysitting for this family for about a year and a half. I mostly love it. They have 3 cute kids, live in a lovely home in a neighborhood, and the pay is very good since both parents are high-level executives. Usually we go through the day with no problems, but sometimes the oldest girl is probably about 8 or 9, starts to act weird. She would start talking about people's butts, including hers and mine, asking me to describe diarrhea, drawing my butt. One time she even tried to look at my underwear and pull on it to give me a wedgie. She just generally starts talking about anything bathroom related, and it makes me uncomfortable. She's always asking me to give her a back rub or a foot massage, which I just don't feel comfortable doing. She also went through a phase where she kept trying to kiss me. Ew. Is it normal for kids to act like this? I haven't said anything to her parents because I figured all kids go through weird phases, but now I'm not so sure. Do you have some advice for me? So let's see, how old are you? Oh, so you 18 to 21, so you probably 18 because you don't know nothing. First of all, at 8 to 9 years old, that's why I'm laughing so hard. This is what kids do. They are very focused on bodily functions. The wedgies thing, they do that from up until 12 or 13, they still be doing wedgies. So, I mean, that's just some kids do that. Um, Now, they talk about pooping, they talk about diarrhea, they talk about farting. My brothers used to have fart contests. My dad, who was a full grown adult, would be in on it. They would be doing stuff like they would be walking through. Our dad was famous for like walking through the house, and then he would say, "Oh, oh, oh." Okay, so now everybody's paying attention, right? And then he would strike a pose like a Heisman, and then he'd go, and we were like, ah, Dad. I mean, it was like a family game. And then he just laughed and going down home. My mother hated it. But then my dad was dad, and he was an adult. Okay, and you talking about an 8 or 9-year-old and trying to act like this is some horrific nonsense. I'm telling you, girl, this is what little kids do. This is this now. Now, the kid wanting to kiss on you, I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know. That part you might want to, eventually run by her parents. But what you need to do first is sit her down, because you're her babysitter. You guys have a relationship, and you say, little Sally, I've noticed that you're doing this and this and this and that, and some of that is kid stuff, and I understand that's what little kids are going to do. That's what little kids like to do. But I'm telling you, as your babysitter, there are certain things that you should not be doing with me, or should not be trying to do with me or any other adult. Number one, you are not going to kiss anybody. You kiss your parents, and that's it. Do you understand me? Your little brother, your little sister, whatever the other 2 kids are, you kiss them, your Grammy, your grandpa, that's it. You don't go walking around to people like your babysitter or anybody else asking them for a kiss. People should not be touching your body. That is your body. It's off limits to, but you know what I mean? You explain these things to her because her parents might be stupid and may not have told her. You do it. So you sitting around here running from it. If you're going to be babysitting kids, you're taking responsibility into your hands for those children. Not only for their safety while they're in your care, but any other safety while they're not. If their parents are lacking on something, then you step up and you do it. Because what they haven't told her is impacting you. So you have every right to tell her. You see where I'm going with this? Now, if it continues to be a problem, then I would suggest that you address it with the parents and say, look, I sat down with her. She was doing this. She was doing that. I addressed it with her. I told her that this was inappropriate and to stop doing it. She continues to do it. I want you to address it with her, because I'm thinking, this takes more than just hearing from the babysitter. She needs to hear it from her parents. Okay? What? Well, I'm only answering these questions today, Black Princess. So if you have an advice question, please send it in to for the future stuff, because I have shows where I answer questions, but this isn't one of them. On these shows, I only answer the questions that have been previously submitted. Okay. So yeah, this back rub and foot massage stuff. See, that's some intimacy that she don't need to have with you. So that's my suggestion. Okay, sit down and talk to her. Don't do it in front of the other kids. Just talk to her one on one about what's appropriate behavior for young ladies, and do it as an educational thing, not condemning her behavior. Don't call her names, nothing like that. Don't try to make her feel embarrassed. Just tell her that I need to tell you this because I don't want you to get yourself in a situation. All right. Question number 14, female 21 to 25 out of Ontario. So the other day, a guy who lives in my building asked me out for a drink. I declined since I have a boyfriend. Last night, I was on the phone with my boyfriend and decided to tell him because the guy does live in my building, and I just felt like he's pretty honest with me when it comes to this kind of stuff, so I should be honest with him. When I told him, he asked a few questions about the guy, then said, "Are you happy he asked you out?" You're a dummy, which I found to be an odd question. He's from overseas, so sometimes there's a language barrier between us, and I think I might have taken it the wrong way, and I responded saying, "Well, do you think this is the first guy who's asked me out since we started dating?" "Oh, you just really love to start shit, don't you?" "I just told you about him because he lives in my building." He responded saying, "Well, I get asked out too. People want to set me up all the time," and then proceeded to tell me about some 30-year-old who asked him out recently. He said he declined, of course. So in response, I asked him if he was mad I told him about this guy, and he said no. And I told him it sounded like he was, since he decided to give me a rundown of everyone who's showing interest in him. He told me I'm his girlfriend. He doesn't need anyone else, and he's happy with me, and then we moved on. Did I make a mistake in telling him about this guy? Was his reaction out of jealousy? Because it did hurt me a bit, but then again, I guess me telling him about this guy probably hurt him. That's why I said you're an idiot. Number one is, if you have spent any time on this channel at all, you should have heard me say at least 557 times, you do not talk to your man about no other motherfucker. Okay? You know your dude don't want to hear about somebody else, some other man. Nothing about another man unless it's your brother or your daddy. Okay? Or maybe your son. That's it. You talking about some random motherfucker down the hall trying to hit on you? And you think that's news that you need to share with your man? What's wrong with you? Was you looking for some shit to start? You that desperate for attention? You just really wanted to get a rise out of him, didn't you? He's honest with me, so I need to be honest with him. You heifers need to lose the word. The word honest needs to be dropped from your vocabulary when it comes to men. Just shut up. Just stop fucking talking. You run your mouth too much. You don't have shit to say of intelligent stuff, so you bring up some shit about some man to your dude, and you wonder why he gets pissed and why he gets, starts tripping and stuff. You did that on purpose because you was acting all silly and insecure for some damn attention, and so you wanted to get a rise out of him. Don't try to play me. I know better. That's the only reason you could have done some shit like that. There's no sane reason for you to talk about a man that's on the phone somewhere overseas or some damn place, wherever he is, about some clown that lives down the hall from you that's like right down the hall. You could open up the door and y'all be cheating in 10 seconds. Why would you even think that was a good idea? What was going on in that ditzy head of yours? Just silly. No, she's playing with her. She's playing with his confidence. You got it twisted. That's why she opened up her mouth to tell him, because she wanted him to be the one feeling jealous and insecure so she could feel, positively defined and desirable and stuff. You got it wrong, Clarissa. You got it backwards. It wasn't him. I mean, it wasn't her. It wasn't him. It was her. She the one to open her big ass mouth telling him some bullshit. That was her. And she's the one that started all of this. So, in to sum this up, everything that happened is your fault. If he brings this up again, you assure him, honey, I told you, that was it. The one time I shut that shit down. You better lay it on thick. I'm not interested in that clown. Blah, blah, blah. I only want you. Blah, 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 something like that. You better lay that shit on real thick because you fucked up with this conversation. You fucked it all the way up. And he lives in your building. Ugh. Are you happy? He asked you. That was a valid question because you must have been happy. That's why you told him. Question 15, female, 56 to 65 in McKinney, Texas. My son recently remarried. I received an email from his new wife listing problems I'm causing that she feels are affecting their marriage. There are many inaccurate assumptions in the email. I didn't respond. I did text them, though, saying I was heartbroken that she was hurt by my actions. She feels I'm too close to the family of his first wife. His first wife is the mother of the only grandchildren I will ever have. My husband and I have become close with the first wife's parents and consider them to be good friends. I offer support to the first wife, taking care of the kids, the dogs when they're out of town, etc. The first wife has remarried and has a child that died of SIDS at 4 months old. Ooh. I feel tremendous empathy for any parent who loses a child. I believe when grandchildren are involved, everyone should be forgiven and treated with respect and kindness. The first wife has supposedly been very rude to the new wife. The second wife does not want to have us to have contact with the first wife and get all info regarding the grandkids from her and my son. Supposedly, the first wife rubs in their faces that she and I have a special relationship, and this infuriates her. I want my son to be content and happy in his new marriage. Also, the second wife cannot have children, and the first wife now has had another baby. Okay, yo, bitch ass is doing too much. Who's are you loyal to? Okay, that's your son's kids and his new wife. So the ties you and your husband had with them other people, you got to let that shit go. Okay, and this babysitting her dog and all this old shit, you're going to stop doing all of that immediately. You're going to not be calling her. You can talk to her occasionally. Like if you want her to bring the grandkids over or something like that. But all this buddy shit, that comes to a screeching halt as of today. That's why the wife is upset, because you can't figure out who he's married to. You got all mixed up in her business about her baby dying and all this shit. That's not your grandchild. What the fuck do you give a shit for if the kid dies? I mean, I know it's sad. I'm not saying it's not, something to be excited about, but it don't involve you. That child is no blood to you. She ain't no blood to you. You better worry about the ones that you got and your son. That's where your loyalty is supposed to be like. You all confused. Your husband is too. He following along behind you instead of stepping up being a man, telling your ass to sit down somewhere and you going to cease and desist. He's not doing that. You got your husband's nuts. That's what that is. Man, you let me be married and have my wife doing some bullshit like that. I would shut that shit down so quick. Like, no, you ain't going over there. You ain't watching nobody's fucking dog either. They have a dog, and that's her husband and him. They got money. They can go put it in the kennel or get a dog sitter or something. That ain't your job. Your job is to worry about them grandkids when you have them and your son and his wife. That's what you need to do. You don't worry about the past. You worry about the present and the future. Woo. Lady, you are confused about what you need to be doing. That's all I can tell you. Give this some serious thought, and then you can understand how wrong you are and the problems that you're causing your son. You can't do this. That wife, they're divorced. She's with a new man. She got more kids by him. You are such a non-issue in this woman's life, but you're still trying to make yourself relevant to her for some reason. I don't understand what it is that you're looking for from this woman. Your husband has discarded her like yesterday's trash, okay? You need to be on that same page. Your relationship with her is causing problems. And it's like she's using it as a tool to beat the new wife over the head with it. And it's only because of you, because you can't figure out what you're supposed to be doing. I hope you understand. I just told you. You're going to cease and desist. She's going to try to get you to come over? No. Well, can you babysit me? Watch my dog? No. Well, can you come over and help me do this and that? No, I can't. And to the parents, you guys explain to them, we need to, change courses here. It's nothing personal, but I've really enjoyed you and stuff. But, my friendships with you and the alliances that I haven't been able to break are causing problems with my son, his new marriage, and I don't want to do that to him. Okay, so unfortunately, this is the step that must be taken. Thank you for understanding. You don't blame or be mad at him or nothing, but you G up and you get rid of that shit. Stop doing that. Yeah, she's trying to compete, and she's able to do it because the boy's mother's stupid. Man, you just screwing this all up. Question number, where am I? Okay, 16. Female, 46 to 55. You're not going to believe this, but every word is true. My 16-year-old daughter doesn't have a job, but does get a decent allowance, so it didn't really hit any alarms that she had money to spend on makeup and clothes. In the last few months, she made several large purchases, including new video games, without asking us for money. My husband and I confronted her about where she got the money from, and at first she gave a vague answer about saving, but when I pressed the issue, she admitted that she was making money online. She had been claiming to be a psychic and charging people to contact spirits. She showed us her Facebook page where she contacts her customers. At first, she clearly thought the whole thing was funny, but my husband got very upset about it, at which point she shut up and started insisting she sincerely believes in this. I really truly don't think that my daughter actually believes she is psychic and can commune with the dead. I'm not sure how much difference it would make if she did, but I'm honestly quite sure she's deliberately tricking these people. My husband got extremely angry and told her that she should be ashamed for taking advantage of people. She said she's gonna be grounded. I looked through some of the Facebook chats from her psychic page, and I'm at a loss for words. Girlfriend got game like a motherfucker. One woman had recently had a miscarriage and wanted my daughter to contact her lost child, which she had apparently done twice and charged money for. This wasn't a single event either. The chat log goes on for several weeks, in which my daughter assures this woman that her son loves her, he doesn't blame her for what happened, and his spirit is waiting for her, etc., and that he'll talk to her again if she wants, and pays for it, of course. There are some others, but that one stood out most. My daughter's such a lovely person with a big heart. She's kind to everyone. She's the kind of girl who always gives money to beggars on the street. She volunteers at the animal shelter. I cannot see how she doesn't have a problem with taking money from vulnerable people like this. I would like to talk to her about this, but unfortunately my husband reacted very strongly, and now she's refusing to consider discussing it at all. She keeps claiming these are her true religious beliefs, and we are attempting to impinging on her faith. For the record, I am agnostic, but I don't care if my children want to believe in ghosts or spirits. I would support her in that. She's been a bit into New Age ideas for a while, and I've never had a problem with her talking about chakras or spirits or anything. I think I may be too close to this issue at the moment. Am I overreacting? Is this just a very strange phase? I would like to talk to my husband about this as well. I'm unclear on exactly why this made him so angry. Just feel like I could use an outside perspective. I'm going to tell you what, if that was my daughter, I'd be proud as hell. I'd be like bragging to everybody, say, don't you want to read it for my baby? We'll give you a discount. It's only going to be $10 for you. Shit. I'm going to say this, though, in all seriousness. Whether a person goes to a shrink, um, some other kind of marriage and family counselors, therapists, a PhD shrink, doctors, or a psychiatrist, those are the doctors, the PhDs, or whether they donate to a church and get, the services of a pastor to feel better about the situation and, gain understanding, or whether they go to a psychic, the result is the same. They're paying money and someone's making them feel better. Now, the fact that your daughter at 16 was able to figure that out, and the amazing thing is that she's giving people the answers at that tender young age that they need to hear. That's not something to poo-poo. She's helping people. And see, you as parents, you're looking at it wrong. Because like I keep saying, people go to church, they tithe, they do stuff. They go in there because it makes them feel good. It helps them to deal with their problems and the stress. They go see a shrink and they pay $200 an hour because it makes them feel good. And it helps them alleviate their stress. People go and see a psychotherapist and lay on the couch and take drugs. Why? Because it helps to make them feel good. And it helps them alleviate their stress. People go to Bevmo and other liquor stores and they get bottles and bottles of Hennessy and wine and all these things. And they drink it. And it costs them a lot of money. And why? Because it makes them feel good and it helps to alleviate their stress. So in the grand scheme of things, what your husband is wrong, and it's silly for him to be wrong. He has to look at the big picture here. People are going to pay for things that make them feel good and that alleviate stress. It doesn't matter if it's illegal or legal. It doesn't matter if it's, a charlatan, a church, do whatever. They're going to do that because it makes them feel good and it alleviates their stress. So you guys harping on this issue about your daughter, I wouldn't do that. Now, if you don't want her to do that, of course, she's a minor child and you have every right to tell her to stop. I'm not saying that you don't have that right. What I'm saying is to say that she's taking advantage of people. She's not taking no more advantage of them than Hennessy, your local pastor, any pastor, Joel Osteen, all of them, anybody that provides a service that helps make people feel better and listens to their problems and gives them comfort has a right to charge for it. Okay? Leave her alone. Just tell her, you're not comfortable with her doing that and to stop because she's a minor child and she could get into trouble. She doesn't have any kind of liability insurance. And if there's a problem from this, you guys could lose your home and all that stuff. Explain it to her. She seemed like a sensible kid that she would understand that. So you say the risk is too great for, the rewards. I'd appreciate that have this, you feel like you have this ability and all this stuff. And she's showing a lot of sensitivity. It's really great. Blah, 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 blah. But, you have to stop. You stop now. And then that's what you do. But personally, I don't see a problem with it. Because she's doing something. She ain't doing nothing no different than any other motherfucker around here. And people be giving them 10% of their income every single paycheck. Okay? Thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars. Your daughter charging $25 and you having a fucking cow. So that's my stance on that. Okay? Like I said, if that was my daughter, I'd be bragging like a motherfucker. I'd be like, ooh, y'all, my baby got a pimp game for real. Okay, question 17. Male, 37 to 45 out of Chula Vista. I'm in my mid-40s and my wife is about 5 years younger. We have 2 children, both in their teens. My wife's brother, who's about 15 younger than me, and his wife, about that same age, have recently started their family. They have one child who's 6, another who's 3, and another on the way. Damn, 3 kids? They have gotten into the habit of holding, quote, family birthday parties to which they invite us, including our children, my wife's parents, and also my wife's brother's wife's parents. I dread these occasions. I feel no connection with my wife's nieces and nephews. I guess not, because they're 6, 3, and not even born yet. I have little in common with them and his wife as they're much younger, and I don't particularly enjoy the company of her parents either. And the nieces and nephews don't really notice me anyway, as they have grandparents fawning all over them. However, my wife insists I attend as a family event, but given that I haven't chosen to be an uncle, I don't feel I should be pressured into this role, especially when it comes to attending an event like this that the kids won't remember anyway. I work very hard and my spare time is valuable, and I don't think it should be wasted trying to be what other people want me to be if that makes me miserable. I'm never going to be the fun uncle. I'm quite a reserved person. What advice do you have for dealing with this situation? I'm losing my mind. So whatever you suggest I'm going to do, oh, good. You're going to sit your wife down and you're going to say, look here, heifer. I have been to all these parties that you wanted me to go to, but you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. So now when you want to go to some infant party with kids screaming and running around and crying and spoopy diapers and all this stuff going on, have at it. I'm not going. I'm going to be here at the house enjoying the silence. I'm going to go somewhere and be on the golf course. I'm going to do what I want to do because I work hard all week and I don't want to hear screaming kids. Now, you have a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you, but you just think back on all the times I did what you wanted me to do, and now that buck has stopped. That train is off the track. That bus is broke down. I'm not going anywhere. And that's what you have to tell her. It's your life, sir. It's your nerves that are getting worked. I personally understand it. I talked about this when my cousin would drag me to some birthday party. When her son was having for his daughter was turning 4. That house was full of kids. They was moving around like locusts. I was a nervous wreck. I couldn't wait to get the fuck up out of there. They was making so much noise. All these little kids screaming, so-and-so popped my balloon. Oh, he took my toy. And then they want to scream. They can't just talk. They have to shriek. And then they want to run by you and run by you and run by you. They spilling food everywhere. You walking across the floor. You crunching on shit. I was going crazy. We was there a couple of hours. I'm telling you, I needed Prozac when I left out of there. I needed a drink and Prozac at the same time, like one in each hand, to get over that. It was just the worst experience of my life. I don't know how people do it. And people have like a whole bunch of kids, or people that have like a whole bunch of grandkids. That could never be me. Oh my God, I would kill them all. Say, get out, get out, get out, go to your own house. Get out, don't come back. That would be me. I can't stand it. So, dude, I'm with you. I don't know how you stood it. I went that one time and I was like, never again. She gonna be like, let's go. Nope, I'm not. I'm getting in my car. I'm going home. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to be tortured. I'm not. I mean, I like her son and his little wife and stuff, but that's just too much. It's too much. It's too many of them. It's like everybody have kids. It's like, God damn it. Don't y'all believe in birth control? What is this? Why is it all these damn little kids running around here? It's just too many. Oh, man. Ugh. So, dude, I'm standing having flashbacks. I'm with you. So, Yeah, see, too bad if you was closer, so we could go out and have a drink, and they could go to their party, and they could go to the party, and we could sit there and talk about how fucked up it is that they at the party with all them freaking ass loud ass kids. Child, I'm telling you, I'm being for real. I know everybody's like, Deb, you so funny and that's funny. No, no, no. I'm being real right now. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. That would be like my personal hell. If I went to hell, they tell us the heat and stuff. Oh no, that wouldn't bother me. What would bother me is that I'd be surrounded by people's kids screaming. Oh, that would make me crazy. That would be hell for me. I guess you can't really kill yourself because you're already dead, but ooh wee. That would be it for me. Whew. Okay, let's move on. Question 18. 18 oh. How many do we got? Robin was keeping up. Female, 821 to 25 out of San Antonio. Deb, help me. I have found myself in a little bit of a relationship slump recently. My boyfriend and I have been together on and off for 2.5 years, and quarantine has put a damper on us. He's 21, a Leo, and I'm 22, a Scorpio Sagittarius Cusper. Okay, why is this relevant? I don't do astrological readings. He has always been loving, honest, and loyal. I have my own trust issues that foster anxiety about a relationship that are unrelated to him that I am trying to work out. Lately, I've become attached to my phone, missing him all hours of the day and finding myself jealous of the time he spends with his friends. They live together. As this happens, he seemingly feels less interested in me, even though he assures me everything is okay. I'm really trying to not be so possessive and slow my anxiety that my relationship is in jeopardy. I just want him to start missing me and appreciating me more. I remember that you are a Leo too, so I thought you might have some insight I don't have. Any advice? Yes. You fucking up royally. One thing you do not do with a Leo is bug the fuck out of us. One thing you don't do is display neediness. One thing you don't do is try to tell us what we're doing wrong. That doesn't work. This jealousy, that don't work. Everything that you doing is going to drive him further and further away. So you feeling like, he's less interested, you're right. Because he's thinking, this bitch is crazy. She's trying to put me in a choke chain. That's why I don't mess with Scorpio men. Because they're too fucking possessive. They want to own you body and soul. I know. I can't do that. They want to go everywhere with you and, just be like looking at everything. Who is that? And all the suspicious of everything. I can't deal with men like that. I don't want you in my face all the time. I want you to be somewhere doing your own thing. And I'll be doing mine. It don't mean I'm cheating or nothing like that. But I just don't want to look at you all the time. I want to breathe some air that you haven't breathed yet. Okay, I want to be around people I want to be around and not look at you while I'm looking at them. That's the Leo way. You look at the lion and the pride, what do? Even though they got the pride, they roll in there a little bit, get a little nookie, play with the cubs a little bit, let the lionesses lay on them and all this stuff. And then what do? They get up and they go back where they was by themselves. That's every Leo, male and female. We don't want to be bothered unless we want to be bothered. So you doing all this, hanging on the phone and being all anxious and all this stuff, you're going to drive them away. But that's the way that the Scorpios and Sagittarians tend to be. You're a little more clingy than we are. Leo's just, I hate to say it, we just don't give a fuck. I mean, we could love you and stuff, but it's just different. Our love is different. It's very open-handed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Shandy. Chanel, wait, what am I looking at? Yeah, that's how they are. They always want to be up under you and just like all over you and knowing what you're doing and where you at and who you with. I can't live like that. I can't live that. He might, but Leo men just don't do well like that. I think I don't know. I just never met a Leo that works well with somebody who's too clingy and wants, to be up under them too much. We don't do that very well. It just doesn't work. And we might really love you. I'm not saying that we can't stand. It's not like that. It's just a different kind of love than I think most people are comfortable with. They're not used to that kind of open-handed distance kind of love that makes a lot of people feel insecure and, they want more closeness. But if you're dealing with a Leo, that's what you're going to get. I don't know what to tell you. We're kind of loners, and we could love you a lot. I mean, not be thinking about nobody else, nothing. But if you don't have that kind of confidence and you want to be up under your Leo person all the time, that just, it's never going to work, and you're going to drive them away because they're going to feel smothered. Yeah, he'll fight for you, but that still don't mean he want to be up under you all the time. There's a difference. Like, I would kill a bitch if about my man. Don't get it twisted. But does that still mean I want to look at him all the time? No, it don't mean that at all. I want to go somewhere and do what I want to do, and I want you to go do what you're gonna do. But you don't better not. You better watch what you do. I tell you that. Don't be bringing no bitch around. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna play that game. But it's not gonna be the kind of thing where I want to be checking his phone and following him and going through his drawers and his pictures. And I don't do stuff like that. I mean, like, I just can't. I'm too focused on me. And that's how it is. So, like I said, a lot of signs don't do well with that. And anybody who's too, possessive and, wants that kind of clingy type of closeness, it's never going to work. You should never be with a Leo. You're just going to have your feelings hurt. Question number 19, female, 46 to 55, out the UK. My son is getting married later this year. I get on well with his fiancée. However, I feel excluded from things to do with the wedding. There was a big weekend when she went dress shopping with her friends and again to make the final choice. She then took her mother along to see the dress and again for the second fitting. There were pictures on Facebook of them celebrating with fizz and generally being happy. I asked her what the dress was like and if I could see it, but she said no. She wants me to see it on the day. To a level, I understand this, but it makes me feel I'm being treated like just another guest. Hence, it probably sounds childish, but I wanted to feel a bit more special. Do I say nothing? How do I tackle this? You eat crow. That's what it ain't your daughter, ma'am. You're married. Your son is yours. So you trying to get included on some shit that's for the bride and her mama. That's not you. If you want to have all that, you do that with your daughter. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there are some girls that, they have a real close relationship with their mother-in-law before they get married. Sometimes they don't have a mother of their own, and so the mother-in-law, potential future mother-in-law, fills that role for the girl. In that case, those women are included. Sometimes they really just want to, the whole family, everybody go. The aunts, the sisters, 900 people go to pick the dress. Sometimes even the groom goes, you know what I mean? But it just depends on the family. But if the fact that she wants to be traditional and not have you there because you're going to leak information to your son because you all can't hold water with your precious boys, that's why you excluded. So, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry it hurt your feelings. I'm sure there'll be something that she can have at some point, maybe a shower or tea or something, with just you and her mother. Or I don't know. She could figure out something. But that might be something for you to ask, to run by your son and say, I don't want to be included in everything, but, is there something that she could do with me? After all, we are going to be, she's going to be my daughter-in-law, and I would like to start, forming a wedding, closer relationship with her before the wedding and be, included in something to do with the wedding so I can have some pictures of us together too. Something like that so that your son takes it as my mom wants to, be with you and stuff. And so the girl won't take it as you criticizing her. She'll take it as like, she wants some time with me too, kind of thing. And so she won't get offended, and neither will her mother. So it's all in how you word it, but you can't do it like what you did here. You criticizing what she's doing. Don't do that. Just, say, that's great. I appreciate that. I hope you guys had fun, all this and that. What can we do together? Because I want to have some special pre-wedding memories too. Okay? And put it like that. So she can okay. That's a good idea. And then she'll, plan something, and then you'll feel okay. Okay? But don't do this. Don't say this. Question number 30. Wait, 30? Somebody made a typo. This is 20. Female, 21 to 26, out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Can you tell me how to nicely tell my fiance that his breath stinks? And that he needs to get back to brushing his teeth even though we are on lockdown. This past month of lockdown, I've noticed that my fiance has not been brushing his teeth. He'll go days, if not a week, between brushes, and I can tell by his breath because it is humming. He showers daily. Oh, he showers daily, so his general hygiene is fine, but for some reason, he just skips brushing his teeth altogether most days. God damn. Seems like his mouth would be like,
with full of film and food bits and shit. Oh my God. This is so gross. Oh, I take my dental health really seriously because I know that damage due to laziness can be irreversible. Besides the fact that his dental hygiene is lacking, I'm becoming grossed out about kissing him. Becoming even little pecks, and I automatically recoil. He doesn't seem to have caught on. How can I gently bring this up to him? Should I be passive aggressive and try to corral him into brushing his teeth with me whenever I brush my teeth? I need some suggestions. Oh no, 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 no. You don't gently. This is gross. Not to mention, bacteria. You can fuck up your heart valve. It gets down into your bloodstream. It can mess up your heart valve. So he get with heart murmur and shit about because he got some infection from his nasty gums, bleeding gums. You got pockets under your gums, food's festering in there. That's probably what you're smelling. And plus, people aren't exercising, so their bowels are all backed up, and so they having like putrefied, impacted bowels and that rotten meat and stuff all in there. Ooh, girl. Ooh, god damn. I'm just grossed out just hearing about it. So here he's breathing these fumes on you and sleeping next to you, and he's not brushing his teeth, and you can smell that lying next to you, and then he will have the nerve to be trying to kiss you with that yuck mouth. You good. Because as soon as you come next to me, I'll be like, you know what? Don't even stand too close to me because your mouth smells like a goddamn sewer. Take your ass in there and brush and use some mouthwash and floss. And then we might have a conversation up close and personal. Right now, you forget about social distancing. I want your ass on the other side of the room because you talking to me is making me feel like I'm going to pass out. The fumes emanating from your mouth is like pig pen. Motherfucker, do something with yourself. I don't know. We're not going to be polite about this. Your mouth smells like a goddamn toilet bowl. Pre-flushing. You need to do something with yourself. I'm just like, I know, a whole bottle of Listerine. What's that other stuff? That blue stuff everybody likes to use. It smells all minty fresh. Whatever it is, he need to be using it. It's beyond comfortable. That's just nasty. Like I said, when you don't brush your teeth, don't you wake up in the morning, you can feel the film, you know, you can feel it on your teeth and on your mouth, and then you look at your tongue, and your tongue is all coated and shit, and just gross. He's just gross. It's just gross. I can't think of any other word for it. And so the fumes coming from him, that would just set me off. My nose is real sensitive, as are my ears. And he would get cussed out. He would get cussed out. Trying to come up here, babe, give me a kiss. No, you nasty, foul mouth, putrid mouth fool. Get away from me. I'm not touching you. Get away from me. Keep that nasty, sewer-lipped ass away from me. Don't come anywhere near me. Go to the other side of the room. As a matter of fact, stand in the corner. Cup your hands and breathe that funky breath you got so you can get a whiff of that shit. Scope. Yeah, that's it. Butter teeth. This is just gross. And then, they're going to want to be putting their lips places with all that teeming bacteria. She going to end up with a cervical infection and have to get a hysterectomy and shit behind this nasty motherfucker. Oh, my God. Mm-mm. Girl, you better than me. I just like, this is gruesome. I can't even. This was a horrible letter to get. Whew. Yeah, so anyway, there's no nicely for that. You just gonna have to be direct. Plop down some scope, plop down some Listerine, pack down a pack of toothbrushes, and pack down some toothpaste and some dental floss, the kind with the little picks, because those are better. You need the little picks versus the one you have to pull off with the string. The little picks are better because you can work in the back and stuff. And you tell him, I want you to use all these motherfuckers, all of them, each one in a row, and before you even come and stand next to me, because your mouth is foul. You're funky, yeah, you stink. Ain't nobody trying to kiss you, and you don't do it, you're going to sleep on the couch for the rest of your life. You're not coming nowhere near me. All of that. All of it. He going to use everything. I'm going to clean out the fucking drugstore. That thing that had to like mouth hygiene, oral hygiene row. I want one of everything. I want every one of everything on this fucking row. Put it in my cart. Charge it. Here's my credit card. This is just gross. Okay, let's move on. I'm gonna be using all my dental floss tonight after this question. Question 21. Female, 26 to 29, out of Kansas City. I've been dating my boyfriend for about 8 months. He's handsome, intelligent, loving, and hilarious. We have an amazing time together, and in most ways, it's the best relationship I've ever had. But there's one thing that really been getting under my skin. He's not generous, so we split everything 50-50. Sometimes I even feel as if I pay for more things than he does. I know he has a good job and he makes at least double my salary, but we still split everything down the middle. He doesn't have debt or loans to pay off. He's not supporting anyone. His rent isn't even particularly high, so those aren't possibilities. Here are some examples of his lack of generosity. I once invited him to my friend's beach home, and when we went out to dinner with them, he let them pick up the check. Okay, so it's their beach house. He's a guest, and he let them pay for his dinner, plus he's staying at their beach house for free. I see. The next day, when I suggested we pay for lunch, he let me pick up the tab by myself. When he came to my friend's wedding with me out of town, he let me pay for the hotel and wedding gift. I was shocked. I realized I invited him as my guest, but he should have at least split the expenses with me. On that one, no. No, he shouldn't have, because you was going to pay them same expenses whether he was there or not. You wrong on this one. And the kicker, he met my parents for the first time last month, and he didn't even pick up the whole check. He let me split it with him after they hosted us for breakfast and drove us around for 2 days. You would think paying $100 meal would be the least he could do. I mean, it's my parents. How many chances do you have to make a good first impression? It seems to me he is more than capable of accepting other people's generosity, but does not return it. It really makes me sad. I'm really not looking for a free ride. I'm a generous person, but I'm somewhat traditional. I like to feel taken care of and appreciated. I've dated guys who are so generous that they barely let me pay for a taxi. I'm not looking for that necessarily, but is it too much to expect to pay for things proportionally based on what I make versus what he makes? Like instead of 50-50, I think 70-30 would be more reasonable. I have broken up with someone in the past over this, even though I never told him the reason. But I generally want to make it work with this guy. Is there any way to have this conversation without it getting nasty? Do you think this is something that a person can change, or is cheapness just something ingrained in your personality? I'm beginning to resent him, and I feel taken advantage of. What should I do? Tell him. You know, you telling me, I mean, that's good because I guess I could give you some ideas for what to say. But the bottom line is your boyfriend is a selfish little prick. So you say you want to have this conversation because you started to feel resentment. That's what you did. Just tell him. Sit him down and say, look, you know, I've noticed over the period of time that we've been together that you have no problem taking advantage of other people's generosity towards you. But when it's time for you to show them some thoughtful consideration or generosity, it seems to be sorely lacking. What is the problem? Why are you like that? So you want to get some information. Okay, you don't accuse him of anything. You point out what you see with your facts, okay? And then you ask him why you make those choices, why you do that, and see what he says. Then you come back with, well, I'm starting to get resentful. I'm starting to get resentful because even though you have these great qualities here, I don't feel taken care of in this relationship at all. I feel like we have a business arrangement, like I have a roommate, because everything is 50-50, even though you make twice as much as I do. And, you know, it's like, when do you ever do the nice things for me? Everything is split 50-50. So I am giving myself to you, my time, my energy, my caring, my consideration. I'm sharing my friends with you. You know, you're getting a lot of great benefits from being in a relationship with me, getting to go places and do things that you wouldn't normally get to go and do. But there's seems to be little to no reciprocation for the generosity these people are showing you. And I'm starting to think that you're just a cheapskate motherfucker, and I'm getting real sick of it. So you either change this attitude, and if this is the way that you want to be, then this relationship needs to be over. Because I don't want a man like that. I don't want somebody who's going to use my parents like that and use my friends like that and not do shit for them and have me foot the bill all by myself. We're not going to have that. So you go away and you think about it. You call me in a couple of days and tell me what your decision is. And if I don't hear from you, then I already know what your decision is. And I will be in full agreement with ending this shit here. That's what you do. I don't say why you have to try to be so, try to be nice about it. You just tell them you're a cheapskate motherfucker and I'm not liking this at all. I don't know. I mean, I had a guy I dated, and I lived in San Francisco at the time, and he lived in Palo Alto. And we later broke up because he was stupid, but at least this part, he was an engineer, and the dude was making bank. So I would drive down on Friday evening after work, and I would drive down, and he would take my car every week, and he would get my car cleaned, and he would fill up the tank, check the tires, check all the fluid. Because my car's on the road to come and see him. And so he was going to drive up there and give me but I just drive down and see him, then I go back home. But he made sure that my car was taken care of, and that I had a full tank of gas every week. When I went down there, I left with a full tank of gas. And so, it was his way of being thoughtful. He stocked the refrigerator with the beer I liked. I used to like to drink Sapporo at the time. So he would buy Sapporo, buy a 12 pack of that. That was my beer. When I got low, he'd go buy some more. And that was my shit. That was in the refrigerator. I was the only one who drank it. And stuff like that. That's what men do when they really are concerned and want you to be comfortable. And your guy doesn't sound like he has that kind of thoughtfulness about you. And that's really terrible. Yeah, that would dry me. That coochie juice. Gone, dry. Now, he wouldn't be getting shit from me. I bet you still sleeping with him, though, ain't you? He wouldn't be getting shit here. Question 22, female, 26 to 29, out to UK. My boyfriend had been with his ex for 6 years and broke up 1.5 years ago. Yet they were still texting and possibly sleeping together every now and then before we met. This year we met and the relationship progressed quickly. He cut her out of his life immediately without me asking, but they remained on good terms. He seems to be absolutely crazy about me. He tells me that his past relationship should have ended a lot sooner than it did, that he felt he couldn't be himself around her, but it wasn't like that with me. He shows me in so many ways that he's crazy in love with me. However, I have some issues believing he's over his ex. The first sign was that he'd bring her up randomly in conversation, and it bugged me. So wait, how long were we together? 6 years, okay. Plus 1.5, okay. Still fooling around a year and a half after that, so that's a total of 7.5 years, okay. The first sign was that he'd bring her up randomly. I didn't tell him until I found a bunch of photos of her on his phone. Obviously, they were together for 6 years, so of course they'd have a lot of memories together. However, we fought about him deleting them, and eventually he did because he realized it was disrespectful. I also told him to stop bringing her up in conversation, which he also did. Yet he mentions places he used to go with his ex and how we should go there. He doesn't know I know that they've been there together. I mean places to travel out of the province, out of the country. He traveled a lot with her. Why take me to the exact city where you went with her? Why not somewhere new? It could possibly be because he's been practically everywhere with her, so it's just with her by default, but it still annoys me. It's also hard to believe that someone can get over a long-term relationship in such a short period of time, and he just stopped speaking to her right when he started dating me. One time, he flat out said something comparing my breasts with hers. Oh, hell no. Is he not over his ex? Am I overreacting? Signs that make me think he wants to be with me is that he makes a huge effort. I have emotional issues and mental health issues, and he's been supportive of me going to therapy. Crazy heifer. I met his parents. He's with me practically every day. He wants to move in with me, etc. He plans out a future. He's also a very educated person. He's in medical school here in London, so he's not one to make dumb decisions and doesn't come off as a liar. But why do I have this gut feeling that he's not over her? Am I just overly jealous? Well, I don't know. I take it, somebody comparing your breasts with some other bitch and calling you some other bitch's name, that would be a clue that he's not over her. I don't care what anybody says. He might be trying to move forward you and all of this stuff, but, at this early phase of your relationship, he's still leaving the past behind. I'm not saying he's not going to, but he's in the process. He hadn't completed that before he met you because he was still dibbling and dabbling with her. That's why I say, you could go cold turkey when you when you get rid of somebody. Well, it's hard to be a rebound when it's a year and a half later. I wouldn't say that she's that. But what she definitely is somebody like a stepping stone, not a rebound. That's too strong. It's like, when you have a long-term relationship, usually it takes you, okay, like the first person that you're with is not the person. It's the one after that. That person you use, and I hate to say this because it's true, you kind of use to finish your healing process. So they take the load, the dump of, all the loose ends that you haven't finished tying up yet. You do like them, and all that, but it's like you're not fully healed yet, so you can't really love them the way that you should. So once that's over, the next person you get with, you finally healed, all those loose ends are tied up, You haven't had contact with the ex at all. This and that. All that goes with that person who is your, like your trainer person, like the training wheels. And then you get with and then that's the person that you end up with. That's the way I see it. It's like an interim. Uh, I don't know. It's just somebody that's just you just not gonna be with that person on a long term basis. They could really, really like you and everything, but you're just gonna catch the brunt of their the emotional devastation that they haven't finished dealing with yet. So I don't usually try to be the first one. Let me be like the third or fourth one. So if you already through with all of that, I don't want to be bothered. So that's what you're dealing with, honey. Um, your gut feeling is right. The second somebody had compared my chest to some other bitch, I would have been out. There would be no further conversation need to be had. None of this calculating, trying to figure nothing out. I would have been gone. That just would have been it. And you gonna call me somebody else's name if it ain't your best pet or something. I don't know. I don't even want to be called that, but you know what I mean? It's something that you can understand. It's something he loves, and he's, his puppy or something, and the puppy has a name similar to yours. It starts with a D, and he calls the puppy, I don't know, D'Artagnan, and then here's Deb. Well, he might slip up and confuse us too. It's two things he really, really likes. But you start calling me some woman? No. Okay, let's move on. We got 2 questions to go in this long ass show. Oh my God. Female, 21 to 25 out of Jackson, Mississippi. I'm hoping you can help me here. Basically, I have been chatting to this guy. We'll call him X. I'm the one who texts first, but he soon replies. He hasn't gone out of his way to ask questions or be the first to send a text. So one day I asked him if he was even interested. His reply was, yes, I would like to get to know you better, but I find it hard to trust people. He has trust issues due to his ex-wife. I haven't asked why he got divorced, but I feel like she may have cheated on him. So last week I said, you interested in meeting up? His response was, yeah, why not? I now don't know if this guy likes me or if he's too scared due to what happened in the past or if he's just wasting my time. My gut says he's like this due to bad experience and doesn't want to come close to anyone in case he gets hurt again. No, his gut is telling you he ain't interested in you. He's not interested in you. He don't text you. He texts you back. He's not the first one to ask. He don't ask you no questions about yourself. You know why? He don't give a shit about you. He's not trying to know you. He's just like this. When is this girl gonna get a clue? I don't give a shit about her. I don't never text her because I'm not interested in talking to her. I don't care what she's doing, where she is, what she got going on. If she's having a good day, nothing. I don't care. That's why I don't text her. What part of that do you not understand? And you're going to sit there and ask a dude if he's even interested. Why would you want to? See, this is the thing that drives me crazy about women. Y'all want to hear the shit with words when the man is showing you by his behavior he don't care. You want to hear him say the words though. What difference does that make if his words say, sure, I want to meet you, but his behavior say, no, I don't. I really don't. I don't even want to talk to you, let alone meet you. And if he meets you, you know why he's going to do it? Because you're so persistent. You're like a thirst trap. Thirsty little girl chasing after this dude. Ask him, does he want to meet up? You know why he would meet up? Because he fits the opportunity to get some booty. Because you're just throwing yourself at him. Stop this. I don't know if you have any older women in your life to tell you how to conduct yourself with men, but what you're doing right now is completely wrong. You do not ever chase down a man. You do not chase men. You don't ask them, do you like me? Do you want to be with me? Do you want to get together? You never do that. Never, ever will you do that again. Okay, if he doesn't text you, that means he don't want to talk to you. Understand that. If he don't call you, it means he don't want to talk to you. Understand what that means too. If he don't ask you out, guess what? That means he don't want to spend no time with you. He don't want to see you. He's not trying to be around you. That's what that means. So for you to have to ask him that, well, do you want to get together? Well, of course he's going to lie because he's got some kind of home training. And he's going to lie because he wants you to figure out that he's not interested and stop fucking calling him. Stop fucking texting him. Stop asking him stupid questions like, do you want to get together? No, he don't want to get together. That's why he hasn't asked you out. Oh. And this thing about has trust issues, that's game. There's a video on this channel about men who play that I've been hurt before game and what that means. I'll try to find it. Ooh, I'm terrible at linking to the videos. Though I say I'm gonna do it and then I don't. But he did. They say that because you know why? Because you keep throwing yourself out. And he's like, oh, I could get some ass out this girl, and if I tell her I've been hurt, I won't have to do nothing. She's not gonna expect me to do nothing because I can play the I've been hurt game, and so everything's gonna be one sided. She's gonna be trying to get me to love her, and she's gonna be buying me shit and taking me places and doing stuff for me and coming over to my house. I won't even have to go to hers. I won't even have to take her out nowhere. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to spend no money, nothing. She gonna deliver herself here like a turkey on a platter for me to tear that ass up, and then she gonna get up and go home, and I won't have to spend no money. I won't have to do nothing. She probably gonna bring me some burgers and fries and some beer too, cause she thirsty like that. That's what's gonna happen. And then you're gonna be like, well, we've been doing all of this. Why don't you make make me your girlfriend? And he gonna say, cause I told you I've been hurt before, and this is just it's too hard for me. He gonna start singing that song, and what you gonna do? Cause he already told you. You just gonna sit there looking stupid. Think about all the money you spend, all the time you wasted, and all the feelings that you have over some motherfucker who never wanted you in the first place, and made that very clear. You just refuse to accept it. So that's what you're dealing with, young lady. Stop this right now. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, and the last question of the day, female 26 to 30 out of the UK. My fiance said he should be able to yell at me if I make him mad about something or if I do something that he doesn't like. I told him that he could express it to me in a nice communicative way because I don't tolerate yelling and it's disrespectful. He said that whenever I say to him to lower his tone and to not yell, it frustrates him more. He said if I let him yell at me for 5 to 10 minutes, he will be able to express himself and then he'll just get over it. But since I prevent him from yelling and the slightest raised tone, I ask him to lower his voice, he gets more frustrated and the fight will last longer. Wow, he's dusty. He said that in all relationships, people yell and that you won't find any relationship where there is no yelling. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I've yelled at him too. But when he yells, he leaves me very shook. He does it in a different way. I'm not trying to have double standards, but he's like twice the size of me. I don't like to be yelled at. It's traumatic for me because I grew up with my dad yelling at my brother and my mom. He knows this also. Anyway, should I just give him for the sake of his relationship if he wants to express himself and let him yell? I don't know how it is with other normal, healthy couples. Examples of what he thinks he should be able to yell at me for, colon. He hates it when I change my profile picture too often on Instagram because he thinks I'm trying to call for attention from other guys. So if I change my profile picture, he classifies that as disrespect. Hence, he thinks he should be allowed to yell. What do I do with this guy? You leave him alone. That's what you do. Hence, you become single. Hence, you break up. That's what you do. Hence, you throw up the deuces and you be like, peace. That's what you do. Because there's no one in this world that should think that they had a right to yell at anybody. You're not yelling at me. My own daddy didn't yell at me, motherfucker. Who the hell you think you are? And he's intimidating you with his size. He's twice the size of you, and he's going to yell. And you sitting up here writing me this letter asking me how you can negotiate this and if you should stick around and let him yell at you. Are you crazy? Did you forget who you were writing to? Surely you didn't think I was going to agree with this. Did you forget? I'm confused. But anyway, what you need to do is, tell him I don't want to be yelled at by you or anyone else. I didn't like it when my dad did it. I really don't like it when you did it. So we're not going to continue in this relationship. I can't take this. It's just making me a nervous wreck. I don't like it and you won't stop doing it. So that means that we have to part ways. So you have to find a woman who enjoys being yelled at and I have to find a man who doesn't want to yell at me and then we'll both be happy because right now I'm miserable. I can't live like this. And then you just break up. Yeah, fire. There you go, Lady Boss, throwing up them X's. She used to be famous for that. But yeah, young lady, no woman has to be verbally abused like this. This is verbal and emotional abuse that you're taking under the guise of having a relationship. And instead of getting rid of him, I mean, it's good that you told him to lower his tone and all that stuff, but you don't actually do anything about it. You say the words and then you stay in a relationship. So once you say the words, you say, if you treat me like this again, we're through. Okay, then when he does it the next time, then you're done. So you have to back your words up with action, and that's the thing that most young women don't do. Y'all don't want to say that. You're just so desperate to have these relationships. I don't understand it. Where you're not being treated well. Why would you want to hang on to that? What is the value there? Just to say you have some dusty bum ass man? I mean, what is the point of that? I don't get it. But anyway, yeah, because that's the thing. But if she's twice her size, she might not survive this beating. You know what I mean? This could be a very dangerous situation for her. So, he's grooming her definitely with the abuse. With the verbal abuse, and then next is going to be the physical abuse. So you need to get out now while you can, because these things tend to escalate. And once he desensitizes you to it, so where you think this is, well, if I just be quiet and let him yell, then it'll be better. Then it's gonna be, well, if I just let him twist my arm, then he'll calm down and won't. And then if I let him just slap me, it'll be of the, then he won't. I'll just let him, and then he'll calm. No, just you don't do any of this. No yelling, no cussing, no touching, no pushing, no slapping, no pinching, no arm twisting, no cornering, no threatening, no nothing. If he can't love you, then you don't be in a relationship with him. And I mean love to where you feel good about it. You want him to touch you. You want to be up under him. You want to kiss and hug him. You don't have this conversation. You can't even have a decent conversation with this motherfucker. You want to be yelling and acting like a maniac and cussing at somebody for 5 or 10 minutes. Who does that? Yeah, it does, because they get angry. Well, you made me angry. That's the next step. But anyway, this guy's a nut. Get away from him as soon as possible and close all avenues for him to reach you. Block and delete. Block and delete. And get you a Google phone number. Forward your phone to that so he can't, he could leave a message there. He won't be able to reach you, though. Yeah, I don't, these dudes, there's something wrong with them. This is the kind of stuff that makes you just want to just, you know, glock up on folks. Say, you yell if you want to, you get in my face one more time. I'm gonna ventilate your fucking ass. That's what you gonna have to be like, all kind of air conditioned. These dudes, something's wrong with them. Who doesn't? Who thinks that's normal behavior? So, and I think she's a little desensitized to it, since she grew up in that environment. You ain't raising your voice at me. You got one time. It's like, who the fuck you yelling at? You don't be yelling at me. You yell at your fucking dog. You yell at your mama, but you don't yell at me. And then, everybody get a warning like a rattlesnake shaking their tail. You get one time. Depending on my mood, you either get a second time or I'm out even on the first time. It depends on my mood. But that was the show tonight, everybody. That is it for What the Fuck Wednesday. Tonight, June 10th. We'll be back, of course, next week, next Tuesday. This is every Tuesday night, except for this week I had something to do at the last minute, so I had to move it to today. But we'll be back on Friday evening with the Dusty News Network. If you have some memes or something that you think would be good for that show, we got to go in on people that post crazy stuff. You can take screenshots of their comments and their posts and send those to me. Care of survivingdating@gmail.com. It's survivingdating@gmail.com. We do memes. We do screenshots of comments. We do screenshots of whole conversations. Like somebody's post and then the comment that's really funny, something like that. So we put all those shows and we talk about that kind of crazy stuff on Friday evenings through the summer months. Also, we're going to be doing a new series. We just finished the narcissistic relationship series. I'm going to be doing a new series starting soon on women who have been married to or dated while these, prisoners, convicts, while they've been locked up for 5 years or more. And we're going to get their stories. I'm very interested to hear what their life was like and what motivated them to be in that kind of relationship. If you have that kind of background and you've experienced that personally and you don't mind sharing your story with other women, that's a different email address. That one is Debsterism, the name of this channel, Debsterism@gmail.com. So the Dusty News Network stuff goes to Surviving Dating. The stuff about the interviews goes to Debsterism@gmail.com. I had to keep them separate because it was just too much. It's too much to have all at one. It was just driving me crazy. All right. So you guys, I hope that you enjoyed yourself tonight. I know I did. These were some crazy questions. Every week it's like, I say that though. Every week it's some crazy questions. It's like these people, just what's wrong with them? Thanks everybody for your super chat donations. We got some good donations in for this week and for last week. Thank you very, very much for your support of my cussing fund because Google is not feeling me lately with all of that. So I appreciate it. And be sure to be here on Friday night for the Dusty News Network. But I'm going to try to put up we got one more interview for the NARC series. I'm going to put that one up tomorrow. And then we'll be here Friday night and then again next Tuesday with our lives. See y'all later. Be good till I see you next time. Bye bye.